Okay, Playboy. We got the man himself, Joey Flex. Joey Flex is in the building. And
Yeah.
we were just talking because I just shared actually in the King of Lift stories a meme that says you get featured on King of Lifts, and it showed that one wrestler who's all happy. And then behind him's the Undertaker about to ambush him. And
Fucking
he
kill him. Yeah.
ambushes all those comments. Pulled sumo, technique is off, arch, too much arching, whatever the shit. And we're just talking offline about how sometimes people just feel that need to jump in on your parade. And we were saying how there's like people who they're like just getting into the game. So they're not refined yet. It takes time, obviously, but they're already smashing big numbers. And instead of being like, oh, wow, look at this potential. Look at this potential athlete. Wow, isn't this exciting? Instead of just being like, or if you saw something, how long have you been lifting? You would find out real quick, 8 months. Oh, shit. Okay. I was about to say,
Imagine this. Imagine this, Ryan. I think, and you guys can tell me what you think, that if we think of all the powerlifting right now, right? Like the maybe only recently you could try to throw other names in there, but I think that if I had to go to Fox or I had to go to ESPN and they said who are your most compelling lifters, I would say Russ Wool, and I would probably say from the women's side Jessica Bittner. Why do I pick those two? One, I think they're the only two that have ever been reposted on ESPN or SportsCenter. You could
I think so. Off the top of my
maybe
head.
maybe the lady that was on Ellen, maybe her. I don't know. You know who I'm talking about? Like she
Yeah.
deadlifts those
It, and
600.
I
Tamara
think
Walcott,
I think
Mhm.
Debo when he wore a suit and
the
pulled
suit
too, but
deadlift.
yeah, yeah. But I get your point. Like very rare. Yeah.
So what if there was another Jessica coming up? Another one that perhaps appealed to a different demographic. Shouldn't we not encourage that? Don't we need as many people like this as we can to try to get the sports centers and these other areas to kind of look at what we're doing and say, hey, those people are moving some weight over there. People want to see that. We should be encouraging these things. We should not be tearing them down and putting that, like, they shouldn't be contemplating whether or not they want to keep doing this because everybody
Right.
hates them because they have this raw strength that's just not dialed in. So it's just one of those things to me where, and powerlifters are the same way. Like, I don't know how Russ became the villain. Like we
Dog,
were on,
what?
we were
This
on with you for years. Like, hold on, let me say this.
yeah.
In 2016, after me and John did our thing, Ryan was like the first one who like really like gave me a shot to like do something. Like I think you ran the IPF page at that point.
Yeah.
And I did a Q&A and it was like I fucking answered 215 questions or something, right? And there was a guy that I knew that literally like he took the data of that page and he like took the code and like put it on a sheet and like transformed it into like word text and like took every answer to every question. I was like, this is crazy, right? Yeah, I took everything
Whoa.
like that and he showed it to me. And I was like, dang man, that's like really dedicated. But so 2016, Ryan, you've seen me from that point. You've seen me come up over the years. You've seen all of it, and you see how you know what is. There's so many like rap songs where like it's like you're the good guy long enough till you become the villain, and it's just so funny how that always happens.
Yeah.
Um, and the it almost felt like at a point I'm like, and I always take a step back and I say, who is really the people that see like Russ as the villain? Who are these people, right? Is it 99% of people? Is it just the other side? Like obviously, you have look at the New England Patriots. They were so good for so long. You're gonna have the Patriot people. You're gonna have everybody else that doesn't like them, right? So you kind of get that going on, and I think it's normal. Although, does anybody hate Taylor?
Oh yeah. Here's the thing.
Really?
Too good, too long.
Area?
Too
Let me
yeah,
know.
Arian hates him. No.
No, no, like, dude, seriously, like, I don't
I
know. Like,
mean,
you tell me.
There's the guys that don't hate them, but they go back and forth, like, Bob and him and Rondell, whatever, went back and forth on who's, more points and this and that. But yeah, there's people that say he's too cocky or whatever, and people always make fun of his height and stuff like that too.
I
Sorry, I
mean,
wasn't thinking lifters. Sorry, I was thinking like just people
yeah.
who I wasn't
Yeah, well,
specific
I wouldn't
lifters.
consider like I don't think Bob hates Taylor. I think anyone that
Right.
lifts is gonna respect that this person got to where they are, no matter how they kind of act. But um, and again, it's like what is hate, right? Like if it's just making fun of someone's physical appearance, I mean that's nonsense. If it's trying to diminish their accomplishments in the context of sport, well, I guess that's sports banter, right? For
That's
example,
the
you
thing. Yeah, like
for example, there's like I don't like how certain formulas value certain things, and other people like certain formulas because it's beneficial to them. And I mean, I've had lifters straight up tell me I like this formula because this formula puts me up there, and it's just very risky, in my opinion, to base everything off of the current point system. Your identity is based on the current system because that system could easily go back to the first system that we had with that original Wilkes back in the day with John and everything. Back then, I think it was Ray, Sergey, and
yeah,
then John was high, but he wasn't above them. And the way that I saw it was, well, no one's squatting 1,000 pounds, and Sergey's disgusting. Like his lifts are insane. Like what the heck, right? So it made sense to me that the formula like really favored them. And back then, like a 500 Wilks was like insane.
that's right.
Now, if you look at it, Jesus has a 600 Wilks. 600 Wilks, right?
Yeah.
And those other guys that are very prevalent in dots, they got a ways to go before they can get there. Now, I don't know what would happen if they actually filled out their weight class. Like, well, how would that affect the formula? Would it be like harder for them? Would it be easier? I think Wilkes, it would probably benefit them. But the point is, it's. I'm trying to think of a point in sports when they changed the rule in basketball or football or something, and then like people would compare eras and say like, oh well, back then like we didn't have a 3 point line, or oh he hit this many points, he hit 80 points when we didn't have a 3 point line, so it's even more insane, right? Like you see what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things
Yeah.
where at the end of the day, like why do we have formulas? Some say the class isn't deep enough, so you got to find a way to compare it. It's never going to be perfect, but at the same time, I personally, how did we get on formulas? I personally don't like that. Okay, let's just use like Russ and Keenan for an example. Love them both. I don't like how like Russ finishing in first in two weight classes by total, which is what I thought powerlifting originally was about, is like who's lifting the most weight in the weight class, right? Is like diminished because someone had a higher dots than him at the same meet. And to me, it's like that's inappropriate. Like that shouldn't be. They're both impressive. They're both insane. They're both amazing. And Keenan's very high ranked in his weight class. Russ is high ranked in his weight class, but they're not in the same weight class. Like it's just a weird thing. And I get it. And I think after seeing it so much, my mindset has become I will respect what people enjoy and what they favor. And I will deal with it if it becomes something that my lifter wishes to pursue. Um, and that is it. Like if Sheffield was dots, all right, I gotta care about dots now,
Right.
It's not, it's a different thing. And it's um who knows I am pretty sure it's gonna be something different next year. And then maybe the year after that it's something like who knows, right? So it's just kind of a played out thing now. I don't know, you guys tell me. But it is interesting seeing how like this was not an argument. Like we weren't talking about this like 3 years ago. Like nobody cared about this, right? Like
Yeah,
this is
it's grown in prominence due to competitions being very much focal around it. Whereas previously, here's kind of why, though, I think, at least in the US, because when USAPL left, previously you would have Nats, Worlds, and you would have those are stacked head to heads. You would have enough people at Nats, and then you have enough people at Worlds. Obviously, you got the whole world. So it becomes plenty of head to head. Whereas when you took Worlds out, now you need some more comps, but you don't have new people. How do we not just rerun it? So they're looking for creative ways, right? Which
IPF has like Euros is a really big thing. Like Euros is a big fucking deal. And also, can I cuss on here? I know that Canada has some maybe it's provincials. They have some meets that are almost like regionals where like it's a big deal. Like they really my dogs. They really care about it. And we don't like we have regionals in USAPL, but it's not, I don't know, like it's so weird. Like in other countries, like that's a big deal, but for us it's like it's like a local, like, you know, like I mean regionals, you know, I think it does help you get into nationals. But I mean, I don't know, man, the split just kind of made things like weird. Like now I don't really know what it is or how it's going to be. I think both sides have like tons of potential. But it's very hard to, I mean, Sheffield is I don't know if you feel like this, Ryan. Arian, you tell me too. I know Arian's been around since, I think I first saw Arian at 25, was it 2015 or 2016 Nationals?
Scranton, I think.
Scranton.
That's 2015.
Yeah.
Tina's a fact checker.
2015. I remember because Tina told me that you spoke her language then.
Yeah, she was working some booth.
Yeah, I remember that. So Aaron's been around a long time too, and what the hell was I saying? Like I don't know.
You're in the divide, saying how the division now things have changed over the division.
Things have changed, and I feel like I remember now. I feel like Sheffield is like a step towards what we've been working for all this time. Like it's the next. It's like the thing that can be that big, huge thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the after, you know, it could be Worlds, it could be combined with Worlds, but I like that it's kind of, I mean, it's like a little bit of an exhibition. It's almost like the Pro Bowl, but it's more severe. I feel like it's harder to get into. Like it almost turns Worlds almost to like a Nationals. Like you got to do all this stuff to get to the big one. And I think the way things are going, what happens when it's $1 million one day? What happens when it's, you know, 500,000 one day? Like what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like imagine if a lifter just has to do well at that meet and they're good for a year of income. Like imagine that, right? Like how insane would that be? Would we see more people get popped? Would we see more talent come into the sport?
Yes to both.
Right?
Agreed.
Right. I mean, one of them really, like, honestly, if people start getting popped, I really worry about that because, do you guys remember Gibbs in was it 18 where he got second to someone who popped?
17 in Belarus.
Right.
So the guy from Kazakhstan, I believe, Ulan.
Listening to, wasn't it Puerto Rico?
No, Kazakhstan.
Was it not Puerto Rico? What the heck am I saying?
Puerto Rico was actually before that. So let's double back. 2015, he got second. Guy from Puerto Rico, Dominican somewhere beat him. Gibbs was second on the podium and ended up being elevated to gold. That's who you're thinking of. 2017, he came in second on the podium as well. That gentleman didn't pop later, but he had popped previously and came back from suspension, and everyone's like, why is this guy here? He had previously popped, but he had served his time and come back. So Gibbs had a bad habit of going against guys who either popped before or after him and came second to them. And
well, I listened to Gibbs back when he used to post on YouTube, which shout out, honestly, I'm very thankful for Gibbs. He made my early days very fun, and without him, I don't think we would be as big. Like the sport wouldn't be as big as it is.
I'd agree.
In my opinion, him and Josh Hancock were like very big on YouTube back then, and like we needed
fucking
that.
Arab doggy.
That was a good time, man. Those are good times, man. And they were just recording their training and talking to the camera, and it was great. But I listened to Gibbs talk about how he won after the fact. Like, hey man, like this guy popped, you win. but it robbed him of everything, like the experience of winning in the moment, all of that. He didn't get to experience that, and in my opinion, that's like super unfair. And it's I worry that as powerlifting gets bigger and more talent is attracted, what's going to happen? Like the drug testing needs to be like unbelievable. Like they need to be able to catch people like crazy. Like
The problem
coming to
is
your house.
when you look at pro sports, like, so to the point of it's not just like a powerlifting issue. I know what you're saying, where like if you look at any big major sport where like real money's involved. So let's just say powerlifting ends up there. And it doesn't matter if it's IPF, USCPL, or whatever. This is just going to be a sporting issue. When money
Use
comes,
UFC, use UFC, use UFC.
yeah, it could be anything. When money comes, PEDs come. That's just it. The war on drugs is a war that'll last forever, and you'll never get in front of it. It'll always be problems, no matter what you're doing. And unfortunately, this is what it is. This is just what it is.
I mean, I feel that because our community is so tight knit and small, that the damage to your reputation would just be like you might be able to survive like in untested feds. Like I don't want to bring up old things. I don't even want to say his name, but there is a lifter who I mean he's cool.
You might have ran into him today.
No, not today. No, not today. He's great. He's cool. I hung out with him a few times. He went out with us, but he got popped in the past, and then like a year went by and that kind of blew over, and then he reinvented himself and just kind of leaned into it, and he found a way for himself. But it's kind of like all or nothing. Like if you get popped, it's gonna be very hard for you to stay in the natty space.
Yeah,
it's gonna follow you everywhere, and people are always gonna hold it against you. And even if you win legit, you pass your test, people are still gonna say, like, you know, it's tough, man. It's really tough, and it's just one of those things that like it does so much harm to the lifters who are clean. It does so much harm, and it's like far deeper than people really understand. It's not just, you know, imagine you're training your ass off, you put your life into this, you sacrifice so much, and you come up barely short to a guy who's on stuff, and he doesn't get caught until like later.
Yeah,
you're robbed of that opportunity. You're never going to get it back. We kind of felt that with COVID, how a lot of lifters qualified for big meets that never got to happen, right? Sheffield should have happened back then. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for this for 3 years, man. I've been waiting for this a long time.
I was leaving the next week flying out. I can't believe, so were you. I can't believe how close we were.
It was gonna, and Russ was in it. Russ was in it, and so was Amanda. Like that would have been like a totally different thing. And you know, just I worry that people, like, the bigger the sport gets, people aren't clean. I always wonder. I'm a very, like, you call me naive. I just like assume everyone's clean. I assume everybody's like good, right? And you know, I just worry that, like, what if somebody who we put a lot of steam behind, who I supported, you know, I don't think any of my Flexx boys would ever do anything like that. But what if, like, you know, someone who I support, who I love, like Carlina, I've been showing her a lot of love. Ashton, I show him a lot of love. You know, somebody, Taylor. Like, what if somebody did that?
Gonna pop.
Nah,
Jesus Christ.
that would be so bad for us.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Fuck. Dude, my heart would break in half.
Oh my God. I wouldn't believe it, man. I'd be like, dude, this is so bad. So it's just one of those things that, like, maybe I'm naive for thinking like, oh nah, people will be clean. You know, at the end of the day, it's like your reputation gets ruined. You know, you're probably it's gonna hurt your business. It's like so much to lose. I don't know, man. I just we got to do what we got to do. We got to be the example of clean sport. The
thing is, you know, I listened to a podcast, an MMA podcast with Luke Thomas. It's phenomenal, called Morning Combat. And he read a book about the war on drugs and the equation of it towards like sports as well, right? And
If you send it to me, I'll listen to it because I used to watch him, but he changed his channel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great. He actually follows King of Lifts. I've
Oh,
messaged
shit.
him through King of Lifts. He peripherally pays attention to powerlifting. He probably knows who you are. He's a fan of weightlifting. Yeah.
Tell
He's
him
a
to
good
get
guy.
me into one of those events, brother.
I've shot the shit with him a little bit in the DMs, but he was talking about how, and he could speak on it. He's gone on Rogan and talked about how the war on drugs is very much associated like the sports drug testing. You'll never win either one of them ever. It'll always be a problem forever. And at some point, people start asking like questions like, is this a losing battle? Is it fighting the good fight? You have to do it anyways, because there'll always be crime too. Like, it's not like you just be like, okay, there's no such thing as crime. You could just do like the purge either.
I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever be able to stop it 100%, but look at the guys in MMA who have been hit. Like, what if TJ Dillashaw was clean and actually didn't need that stuff to win? And like, maybe he would have still stayed in the sport. Maybe he wouldn't have left for all that time. Like who knows? And then he tried to come back, and then his shoulder came out, and he's got injuries, and it's like John Jones is all his drama. Like, there's so many things. There's all kinds of things that happens with that, and it's not good. It's not good, man. I used to think like, what if they just let everybody do whatever? But then it's like, I feel like it's a really hard way. It just complicates things, and it makes it like, okay, I believe one of my favorite football players of all time. I don't know if you guys pay attention to the Steelers back in the day, but there's Troy Polamalu and James Harrison. I got to meet James Harrison a couple years ago at Zoo. He came in to work out. I was like, I don't care about none of these influencers, but that guy's an actual man, and I'm gonna go shake his hand and take a picture.
Right.
And he got into some drama with the head of the NFL, and they would test him. I think it was like 10 times. Like, they tested him like 10 times in a month. Like, he thought there was this harassment at this point. He would always be vocal about it, like, yo, like, why are they doing this? He is extremely strong. He is very strong, and he's jacked, and he is older, so I could see why. But I believe he was natty. Like, I believe that. Like, there's gonna be someone listening to this, like, bro, this guy doesn't know, like, da, da, da. And I'm like, no, man, it's like, it's the NFL, and they're testing him constantly past all the tests. Like, I like, what else do you want? Like, how people will see that and be like, nope, still on drugs. I'm like, dude, like, how they're going to his house, they're waking him up, so I don't know, man. Like, there was one Olympic weightlifter, oh my god, what is his name? They caught him like later.
Does
like,
he have a C? Starts with a C?
Not yeah, he was European.
He's super jacked, kind of blondish hair, older guy, starts with a C, reinvented himself on social media, got a huge following, and no one gives a fuck that he popped.
Well, like, they changed the drug test, and they caught him like after the fact. Like, it was around the time when a lot of people popped for the same thing. Right? Like, a couple powerlifters, I think it was John Jones and like this guy, all popped for like the same thing. And I think it was because they changed the way that they did drug tests, and they keep the samples, and they went back and they tested the old samples, and they found it, and it like completely erased him. Like, his career is just done. Now the guy you're talking about, that's crazy. But look at the Chinese guy. He was like God. Like, that guy was like, what's his name? Lu Zhaojin?
Hey, that's pretty good. Unless you just totally freestyled that.
There's some conspiracies. There's some conspiracies with that one though, because like the Chinese never fail. So like the conspiracy is that like maybe they were trying to get rid of him and put someone else, like a new person in. So like purposely like had him fail to be like, see, we were trusting people and we're catching people, because he was already on his way out.
But that guy was like the guy. Like, that was the man. I used to watch that guy like, dude, this guy's so shredded. Like, look at this guy, he's so strong. His squat, his high bar is so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you think happens to a guy like that? Well, I just want to say before I ask you this, Sheffield, the good thing you'll like about Sheffield, if you have ever popped for a certain grade, you're not allowed to come to Sheffield, just for anyone listening, which is probably, if you want to get super strict, to your point, how do we deal with this? So when guys get popped and come back and win worlds again, like what happened to Brett, it won't happen to Sheffield. But what do you think happens to guys like that who pop? Do they like come back in social media or whatever, and they're good? You know what I mean? Or some of them are
Okay, hey, let me
they
ask you
can't.
this. Let me ask you this, and you guys might know. I know this is like a weird person to talk about. After Liver King got caught, did he ever come back? Is he still gone?
That's a
I
good
don't
Has he been?
follow him.
Oh yeah, you
I
do.
don't. I don't know.
You're part of the Arians, part of the commandments or whatever the fuck it is. Arian was
I
telling me.
I don't know. I don't know because in my opinion, it's like, well, his whole thing was you don't need drugs to do this. You just need to eat this way, and then he fucking popped for it. So it's like,
But dude, he was
is he
so
done?
gassed
Is
up. It was
I
crazy.
know, I know. It's like very obvious. He looked like at least TRT, at least. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
he's still posting. He still has a million plus followers. He posts YouTube. He's still getting money off of all this stuff, even if it is like declining.
He is being
Yeah.
class action sued though, but
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's just straight up lying to people. But
the problem.
my whole thing is like, it depends, right? Like I said, in our community, um, I think if you get hit, the people that know about you may kind of frown upon you, and you'll probably lose like half of your, like if you have a bunch of trustworthy people, maybe half of them like just unfollow you or whatever. But um, there's always going to be that little Johnny and that little Timmy that don't know about what happened in the past, and they're just going to see you for the first time, and they're going
Right.
to think everything's clean. And there's a lot of people in the space right now that I know from 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago, that did very bad things or frowned upon things, and they just kind of waited out and let the next generation come in and then just market to them, and then it's almost like for guys like me to go like, hey, wait, aren't you that guy that did this? It's almost like, why are you bringing up old stuff? I don't really care. Like the world, the market is gonna handle. But now that we've been here for some years, we kind of see how things kind of blow over, and things, people just kind of move on. And there's a lot of amazing accomplishments from the past that I don't want people to forget about. I don't want people to ever forget about John Hack back in the day. I mean, he's still doing cool stuff now. I don't want them to forget about Jesse Norris. We got to keep him
That's
alive, man.
that's the one, my man.
And
Jesse
and see
Norris.
and see, here's the thing, right? Like Taylor was around then, but the thing is, Jesse was a junior, and he was doing things that were just astronomical. Like it was. I don't think we have. Can you guys think of any junior? I mean, Jesus is the only thing that kind of comes to mind, but anybody that was like really young, that was just like doing things that was so ahead of their age and their generation.
Not
I
like
mean,
that.
Ashton towards the end when he was 23, 20, 22, 23. But see, Jesse did it kind of first. So Ashton did end up like getting over those numbers. But like Jesse was, but that's the thing. It was like it was a new thing. Like, we've never seen this. And it was like, do you guys remember Raw Unity?
Dude, you know what's crazy? I just hung out with Lane Norton all weekend, and
Oh,
we were
really?
talking about Jesse Norris, obviously, because Jesse and Lane battled in Raw Unity and all of what you're talking about. We were talking about all of this stuff.
Right?
But
Shout out to
yeah, I
Lane.
remember Raw Unity. It was
Yeah,
the
and he
original.
was there as a kid. I think he was like 21 or 20 at that time. I don't know. And that was with all the big names of that era. It was everybody. And I remember being a little kid. Sorry, my dog is like young and wants to eat everything.
No worries.
He's teething, I think. And like he was like, dude, as like, what was I, 20? I was like 22, 23 back then. I was watching this meet with like Dan Green, Brandon Lilly, Jesse Norris, John Hack was at that meet, right? I didn't even know about John back then. Actually, the meet that me and John did, like when I went to go look John up, his last meet was Raw Unity, and I think he totaled like 1653 at that meet. And he's like, "Oh, my weight cut sucked, and I was beat up, and and then we just fixed him up, hit that clean 9 for 9, and it might have been my numbers might be off, but I just remember like we don't have a Raw Unity now. We have a Sheffield, which is, in my opinion, is going to be way bigger.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
but
Yeah.
but USAPL needs to fire back with their own Sheffield, in my opinion. They need to. I think the Pro Series, it's interesting because like, what's funny? I follow competitive Pokemon, and they do something similar where like you get championship points when you travel and compete, but like you have to travel. You have to. Like unless you win a national, there's something called the ICS. It's like a international championship series, and there's only 4. It's Oceania, North America, like Europe and Asia, I think. It's only 4. So the only way to get into Worlds is if you win first place at one of those, and those are usually very hard to win because it's the best players in the world that travel. They have like finances and they're really competent and they're going to go there and compete. So you have to win one of those, or there's like a lot of regionals like in your country, like throughout the year, and you have to compete. Dude, I looked at it the other day and it's like, if it's like 1,000 people, you have to get like top 8, like 5 times. Like it's really hard. Like it's, lifting's a little different because when you're strong, you're going to stay within that range of top 5. Staying in the top 5 is not hard in powerlifting. So you got to earn those points to kind of get that, or you just win the mega tournament and you're automatically in. Kind of like how Sheffield is like, if you win national or you win worlds, like you win like first place, you're pretty much in. Granted, you got to hit within the 5%, I think it is, of the total
The world
or
record. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I don't know if you should have to travel for that. I think you should just put up whatever you put up wherever you put it up, and then get invited. And then if you do well at head up, then that should matter. But I don't know. I think definitely. I think Sheffield. I hope. I mean, what do you guys think about this? What if another federation? What if like USPA was like, hey, we're gonna do a drug tested thing, and it was like huge, and it was like, $150,000 prize, and top like, I don't know, 24 to 28 in the world. Like that might shake things up too. Like that like we just need that. We need to get a lot of that going on. And I really do feel like Sheffield is a culmination of everything that we've been working on for all these years to finally happen, man. It's finally happened. Should have happened 3 years ago, but it's happening now. And I don't know. What do you think, Ryan? Isn't this the goal? Isn't this what we want? Isn't this the direction that we want to go in?
We've been talking about it for a long time. Like, everyone always wanted people to have some kind of nest egg at the end and to get paid. We seen it in the untested. Somehow they have like you could just bop around collecting checks. It's not going to make you
the US Open. Yeah.
You're not going to get super rich, but
no, I know with John in 2016, I mean, when he missed his third pole, we lost 30 G's.
That's rare.
And I was shocked. I was shocked because I think he hit 717 or 711, and it was fucking fast. And I was like, all right, we'll jump another 15. And then he just hit a sticky. And I wonder if I would have done 5 pounds less, would his opponent have been able to do that? Those are the ones that eat you up at night.
Right. You'll never know, but yeah.
We still got 10 grand, but it was like, and let me tell you guys, 10 grand back in 2016 was a good chunk of change. Now that ain't nothing.
It's always a good chunk of change.
Now that ain't too much. But no, just looking at like my past car, like what back then versus like what it is now, it's like, dude, like inflation is crazy. But it's just those are good meets. We need stuff like that. But again, it's like, where does the money come from? How does powerlifting monetize? I really do believe it's like video games, right? The more people who watches video games, video game people, like who watches powerlifting people. So we're doing what we need to do every day. I need to start posting regularly on my page. I don't know when the last time I posted it. That's really bad as a person, but
well, you post in your stories often though.
I post in my stories often, but I don't know if that exposes it the same. And I just really try to, I mean, what I'm very thankful for is there's a lot of really big people on TikTok that I work with, and they have a barbell in their hands, and that is getting those kids to like pick it up and and this and that. We got a new Zoo Culture location that just opened. I went in there today. There's like it's just like tons of influencers. And like, I'm talking to this kid, he's got like, 500,000 on Instagram. Guy's 26 years old and he wants to deadlift 600 pounds. And I'm like, he's already shredded. He's already got the look. He's already got the the nice smile, and he can talk to the camera. And now he wants to get strong. And I feel like those are the types of people that are going to get, the 16, 17, 18-year-old kids into powerlifting, and then they can discover King of the Lifts. Or King of the Lifts is interesting because you post everyone. You post, it doesn't matter. You're not just like one fed. You post everyone, right? And I feel like you do get comments from regular, like normies. They don't even powerlift, right?
Right.
Which is good. We need that. And I like to see it as, if you're getting that feedback from normies, that means that's actually kind of good, because now we're being seen by the audience that we want to come into the sport. But the point is, those people that have like a general audience getting into powerlifting, that's what we need. Like Meg Squats going away from competing was like a big hit, because like she got so many girls into the sport, right? I know she still does things with barbells and stuff. But it's not like her focus powerlifting, right? So, we need those type of people. And that's why, Gibbs was such a big thing, because I believe that without his YouTube and social media presence, that matchup may not have broken all the records that it did. You know what I'm saying? And it was such a great thing, because it was like the big foreigner guy, like this huge phenomenon from outside of the US, versus the all-American, John Hack, and they're gonna go
From
head
Wisconsin.
up. Yes, they're
Little
gonna go
America,
head.
baby.
It doesn't get more America than that.
That's right.
They're gonna go head up at the World fucking Championships. You get what I'm saying? And JP Couchy was like a big name coach who was behind it. And then I was coming up, and then we had Matt Gary there too, and it was like this. It was it. Like, this is the top. Like, this is the pinnacle, and we just need that. Like, we just need to continue to do that. And one thing that I will always respect Gibbs for is that he was always respectful. I can't even imagine one negative thing he said. I can't imagine one bad thing he said. When we competed with him, he beat, like, I beat him with Hack, then he beat Russ. And afterwards, they shook it up. It was motivation. It wasn't any hatred there. And then we came back and we got it back. And it was like such a great thing. I have so much history with him. And it's always been like, hey, I respect you, man. Like, I really respect you. And because you're from the other side of the planet, he's literally down under, right? And I'm over here, and we're both doing the same thing. We're both doing the same sport, and we're going to go head up on the biggest stage. And it was, and I think about this often. I think I'm really thankful for Gibbs, man, because if it wasn't for Gibbs, I don't know if we would have the same kind of like catapulted everything forward, right? Like, imagine if he was unknown and John just wins. Like,
no, that was the pinnacle for so many reasons. I still talk to Gibbs every now and then, by the way, like slide in his DMs, and I caught up to him a little bit. Like, he still watches UFC, so good icebreaker, just talking about non-powerlifting.
How's the elbow?
Well, so I told him, would you ever want to come back on King of the Lifts? And for those who were around at the time, they would love to just share some more stories. You don't got to say where are they now or whatever the shit necessarily. Well, we could catch up present, but just to go back and hear you, because we've heard John, Russ, yourself, like, oh, you've been on here a million times, right? Brett's been on here too, but it was back in the day. Just like, let's go back. Imagine how cool it would be to go back with you and Brett, you and Russ, and just relive you and John and Brett reliving, and we watch some clips together and do. And he said, sometime, but now's not a good time. And he didn't want to get into it. And so what it is, not to read too much into the tea leaves here, but obviously his career got cut short. It's probably a little difficult right now because he's still in his prime. He still could age-wise be doing it. It's probably very difficult right now for him to take in. He doesn't post much.
It's really hard to... I don't know how public he is with his injury, but to deal with something like that, you got to like start over, and it's really hard to get it back.
Well, he said he can't. He said his diagnosis, what he's saying is, I will never again be able to straighten my arm to meet the conditions of getting a pass. So he's like, my career is over, and because he views his career as over, it's very tough for him to talk about, because you know how much you love this and whatever. So he's like, maybe in the future, man, but it's not right now. And I'm like,
it's a very hard thing to deal with.
Right. Right.
It's a very hard thing to deal with because you don't get to that level and just fall out of love with it instantly. Like it's always going to be a part of you. It's always going to be something you enjoy. I fucking miss playing football. I miss playing basketball. I miss those things. I miss flying down the court. I miss dropping dimes. I miss everything. I miss tackling people. I miss hitting people. What I miss about football is it was the one thing where I could go 100% into another person. I could go 100% all out. I'm going to try to destroy this man, and I wouldn't get in trouble for it. No one would get mad at me, and it was fine. And my coach would literally be like, you're blitzing this gap, and I'm going. Whatever happens to me, happens to me. You know what I'm saying? And that's the cool thing about powerlifting too, is like when you're maxing out, like that's you. It's a battle of will. It's like, let's go, everything I got right now, and I really enjoy that. And there's very few things that humans get to do. Even as a fighter, as a UFC fighter, you can't just go crazy. You got to be calm, collected. It's a chess match. It's like every time I watch Robert Whittaker fight, I'm like I'm freaking out, man. This guy's gonna get it. It's like, is this gonna be the one time he gets clipped? And it's I know Brett still probably misses it a lot, and he still has that fire, but it's so hard, man. It's just a difficult thing to deal with, and to hear somebody say that. I actually heard yesterday. I was watching. Who was it? It was one of the football games towards the end of the day. I think it was on the Ravens, and they're talking about a player who he had scar tissue in his knee, and it could only extend 70%. So then he got another surgery to remove that scar tissue, and he's good now. So you never want to give up hope. I always say, like, you got to keep, like, when a doctor tells me something, I get like 2 more opinions, because
100%.
If they tell you, they're always going to be conservative. Hey, you should probably not do that. Just chill out, this and that. I had one doctor tell me in 2014, he said, if you want to do this, and this is something that you enjoy, you're really young, and like you should not, like, you're going to hate the fact that you gave up pursuing it than actually like trying it and see how your body reacts, right? And he's like, you're young, you might heal through this. Is dealing with my back then. And it's just one of those, it's just, yeah, I hate hearing that they told him, for him to say himself, like, yeah, I'll never be able to extend my arm. That's really, really tough. It might honestly be torture for him to come on here, because he might just be like reminiscing the past, and it just like gets him down,
Well, this is why he said not now, man. He's like, it sounds like a great idea. Sometime in the future. Another person I was thinking about was Josh Hancock.
What is he doing these days?
Could not, dog. You can't. I couldn't find him anywhere. Like, I think
Really?
I tried to find him on like fucking fake, because he's nowhere on Instagram. It's crazy. For people listening who don't know, Josh was the hottest junior at one point. Had so much hype around him, was doing like collab videos with like Nick
Candido,
Wright,
maybe?
squats,
Yeah.
Nick Wright. Brett was boys with Brett, and was like the hottest junior. And then out of nowhere says, it's still
I'm
as
out.
a junior, hey y'all, I'm out. I'm retired.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 weeks before Worlds, and he was like going to win Worlds. He was projected to win. He was saying, like, I'm going to win best lifter at Worlds. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go into the Open. And it was like, he was like one of the guys. And then out of nowhere said, I'm done. And then he actually reappeared here and there, very small.
Briefly, yeah. It wasn't really lifting stuff though. It was like normal life stuff.
Well, he actually competed a couple times if you look at his open powerlifting, but it wasn't, you wouldn't even notice it, because it was regional. Numbers were like way lower than he was as a junior. So he's just, fucking around or whatever. And I don't know what the hell happened to him, man.
I don't know, man. Aaron, you got any relics from the past that you ever wonder, like, hey, what's that guy doing now?
I mean, I guess a lot of people just move on, like, regular job, maybe, has a girlfriend or wife, a kid.
Not psycho like us, just obsessed with this fucking thing for so long.
Talk about Bren and Lily, who was forced to move on. It's crazy, because I was doing the Chat GP whatever, or GPT or whatever the fuck the AI chat is. So you ask
Oh
the
my
AI questions.
God. Wait, I want to mess with that thing. How do you get into it?
So dog, I did a couple. Let me pull them up. Let
Yeah,
me
yeah,
pull them
yeah.
up because I did it for this
Is it good?
podcast.
Is it crazy?
I did it for this. Well, powerlifting's just not enough database to do it. I did it for this podcast in particular.
It's 2021 only, right? And behind that. It's 2021, I think, and behind that. It's gonna go live on Bing, I heard. I heard it's actually gonna be a part of like the Bing search engine, which if you guys don't know, okay, I actually thought about this morning. I was listening to a video while I was making my breakfast. And I was thinking about they're talking about artificial intelligence and how they estimate that over the next decade, they're saying like 100 million jobs could be displaced or something like that. And I thought about it and I was like, I am terrified at how it answers certain questions. I have a junior lifter, okay? He doesn't work with me directly, he works with one of my coaches. But in his close friends, his teacher gave him an assignment. And you know how usually when you write an essay, it's like write an essay about so and so and make sure to point out this and this and this. So he just took that, put it in, and it just
Yes.
And I was like, and I was reading it, and I was like, there's no way that this is a robot. There is no, it's the way that it talks and articulates, and you could even say, make it sound like an 18-year-old kid wrote it. And it will it's like it's fucked up, man. I was like, this is crazy.
That's
this is
now.
crazy.
Wait till 5 years.
Yes.
Listen, I just watched Mo, friend of the podcast from UK 105, or he got bronze, and he's a coach. He put into the chat GPT just now. He said, can you do me a powerlifting program? And it goes, here's what I would suggest. And they gave him RPE based program. And he's like, well, fuck, I don't know if I want to use this. However, I was going to say, I asked it, chat GPT, I said, who's the best powerlifter in the world today? And it was giving me like fucking crazy answers. And I said, like, where would Taylor Atwood rank? And it goes, it does not know who Taylor Atwood was. And then I said,
we're early. We're still early.
Well, I mean, that's ridiculous. And I said, I knew you were coming on. And I was like, who's the best powerlifting coach in the world? And it said Brandon Lilly was one of them. And it said a bunch of other people. I'm like, what the fuck? And I go, where would Joey Flexx? And it goes, I don't know Joey Flexx. And I'm like, what about, tell me about King of the Lifts podcast. Who hosts it? And they're like, we don't know King of the Lifts podcast. And I go, what about Six Pack? So it doesn't know. And like, this is easy Google.
So also another thing with artificial intelligence is it needs a backlog to learn from, right? So anything that is a short. So for example, how do I say this? It needs to be told what it's doing right and wrong. And it has to have things in place. So if you interact with it long enough and you say, no, that's not what I wanted this, it will apologize to you and learn that. And they said, it will learn you better than you learn you. The reason why I say that is because humans are emotional. So if 70% of the time you act a certain way, and get this, right? You guys have seen the deep fakes. Well, they're about to get crazier and they're about to get more insane. So you could combine the two and you could say, you could give it a movie script and say, write me a movie that's 10 minutes long, and here's the script, and these are what the people, and then I want it to be these actors, and and it will do it in a couple minutes, and then it just you're seeing, and it's fucking scary, man. And
you don't need the actors, you don't need the writers. You could just be like, you instead of Netflix, a pre-written. You could be like, look, I want to see a movie, a spy movie. I'd like to see Tom Hardy as the lead. About 90 minutes. I got about 90 minutes. Yeah, got 90 minutes. Probably good for me tonight. And they'll be like, say less, fam. Say less, fam. 5 minutes later, here's your movie.
And what's crazy is, like I said, the more it learns, the better it gets, and the sharper it gets, and the more efficient it gets. And as long as it has more data points, artificial intelligence needs like tons of information to draw from. I believe, I don't know if you guys know, Microsoft bought it for like $10 billion or something, right?
Oh, really?
It might be 30 billion. I think it's
They keep putting in more money, I think.
Yeah,
They're
but the
trying to
way it
stop
works,
it.
they're gonna make no. They bought it because they want to
Oh,
integrate it into Bing.
Sorry, I thought you said fought it. Gotcha. Okay,
No,
gotcha.
they bought it, and I think Microsoft will make 75% of the profits till their money is paid back, and then after that, they own. Elon Musk invested into it, and one other really big guy, I forget who. It might be Bezos or someone, I don't know. But the point is, like, the way that it talks to you and the way that it can be like human readable, it's insane, man.
Art,
It's
music, it can do it all.
it's so good. I can't believe you got into it. Like I the queue was too long for me, so I just said, "Oh, it's fine."
Well, I got some, I got a couple.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I know some people. I made some text messages, but
He hit up some artificial intelligence ladies, and they
that's
said,
right, artificial intelligence ladies.
okay.
But I thought I was gonna have some good questions for us, and then I would try to do some live with us. I thought that'd be fun. And it just was, it had like, it wasn't there. But to your point, it will be, man, because I got the idea from, like, again, an MMA podcast. The guy was like, who's the greatest MMA fighter of all time? And it was like, well, there's John Jones, there's George St. Pierre, there's also, and it was
because
pretty
they're
tight.
more mainstream.
Right. We'll get there. But like, to your point of like the bigger picture, like this is fun just for conversation, but for the bigger picture of what 10 years is going to look like. I mean, in a podcast, do you need a podcast, or could you say, give me 3 figures debating who the greatest powerlifter is, and there's boom, 5 minutes later, you're catered to
what
podcast.
it would do is it would look at every single King of the Lifts podcast that was ever done, and it would learn who Ryan is. It would create a version of Ryan that would be very hard for us to like know that it was a robot. And it would be insane.
Yeah.
It would be
I'd be done.
insane.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, it makes me wonder, like, what does the world look like when, I mean, shit, what if I thought about how it could help coaching, and what if I could tell it, like, okay, I want you to peak this lifter at this point and can prepare them for this competition and give them accessories that will address these issues. And then it just writes the program, and then you give it to the lifter, and then all I got to focus on is coaching, right? Like, I could just be a coach then. Imagine that. Like, imagine if there was no, all of the hours spent like programming, it just did it. Like, and it would learn, like, it would link up to the database, and it would see all their prior trainings, and it could see like how every single, I mean, we got to do this manually, but imagine a robot doing it at light speed with perfect precision.
Every single possibility, it does all the numbers.
The only thing is, I don't know how it would be able to, like, I mean, Arian, you know this, like, we're dealing with humans, and like we have emotions, and like maybe we have the optimal thing to do, but they can't do it because it doesn't fit like their lifestyle. And like certain things, like, humans aren't robots, right? So like you might have the best program, but it has to fit humans, and it has to like be adaptable, and you have to have audibles, you have to be able to change things when things come up, and you have to deal with injuries, and like,
what if it can though? What if it can? Like, what if it takes Joey Flex's personality, just like it took Ryan Lapadat's for the podcast? What if it can take your personality and like be like that guy person?
That's some ex machina shit. That's some fucking trippy shit.
Listen,
man.
What if somebody's with Joey Flexx for like 2 years, wins worlds, the whole nine, and is like, I want you to come down, handle me live in real person, the whole nine. And then all of a sudden a fucking phone call comes. A phone call comes to that guy because he's been working with you. And he's like, this world championships, you took me in 2 world titles. This world championships, I want you there, Joey. This means a lot. This is the Sheffield of it. You've been doing it remote, whatever, because you're busy. This time I want you there. Phone call comes to that fucking guy. You know who's on the other side of the phone? It's Tina. You know what Tina tells him? Joey died 3 years ago.
Holy
shit. That's why you've never seen him. Okay.
It's
but it was in his will. This is,
insane.
and you and Tina got kids and all there. He goes, he's contributing. He's still contributing to his family after he passed. Okay. There's the Black Mirror, a powerlifting style Black Mirror episode.
Dude, it could be so insane. And it's honestly,
it's funny. There's another AI. There's all these different ones out there, and I heard one called Character AI, where they pull like whatever personality or whatever of different characters. So you can talk to Elon, which I did the other day. So I pulled up one for Tony Stark right now. So I'm asking Tony Stark, who is the best powerlifting athlete in the world? And he says the best powerlifting athlete in the world is Eddie Hall and gives Eddie Hall's accomplishments. So I'm like, no, Eddie Hall is a strongman competitor. I'm asking about powerlifting. He goes, oh, my bad. He goes, the best powerlifter is Lasha, who's this weightlifter. So then I tell him again, no, Lasha's a
Hey man,
weightlifter.
AI doesn't even know we exist.
On the third one, he goes, oh, well, the best powerlifting athlete in the world is John Hack.
Oh,
But-
okay.
but then
see now,
it got some of-
it knows. Now
He got some of the
it knows.
stats wrong though, because he goes, he has won 3 world titles, 2 world games golds, and he is a 3-time U.S. national champ.
All right. Well, that's
That's a
I mean,
little, that's a little bit off.
That's
That's a little
Whatever.
bit off, Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. Yeah, but it is. Yeah, so it's flawed. I mean, you could argue hack,
But as it collects more data, yeah, like, but I guess that's the whole thing with the AI like coaching programs that are out there too, is like, yeah, it can spit out a program based on the parameters you put in, but then it's like, yeah, what if the athlete puts in the wrong parameters, or what if they don't account for certain things, like, oh, the athlete's going to get, elbow tendonitis after back squatting this many times. So as a human, okay, I'm going to switch this out for like SSB or something like that. So can it learn enough information and get enough inputs to know those adjustments?
eventually.
I think anything is possible, but when will we realistically get a product that'll be tangible for guys like us to have in our hands? Maybe
And
like
not be
3
expensive.
years? No,
Yeah,
it'll
what
probably
are we
be.
all gonna do in the future though? What the hell does that mean? What
Like,
what
all
are we
this-
actually doing?
Elon said that if we had robots and artificial intelligence do everything, there would just be like universal basic income, and we would just do what we enjoy.
Are you serious? Well, frick, let's hurry up.
Dude, I would be chilling. Imagine like you just taken care of, you don't have to worry about anything, and you just.
I mean, there will still be jobs of people who have to work on all this stuff and maintain all this stuff.
Yeah, though there's that, but I don't know what's gonna happen, man. It's kind of crazy. I wonder if the listeners are like, bro, I don't want to know that I'm gonna be replaced by a robot. Talk about some power.
Listen, I wanted to ask you earlier. We were talking about it. This is actually the first thing we started talking about before we went off. The quote unquote villain arc of Russell Orhe we were
Mhm.
talking about. So, what do you think it is? Is it because we're investigating it a little bit that we went off? Is it in the same thing with Taylor? Because you asked about Taylor. Do people hate Taylor?
Both of them. Let's put them both in the same kind of thing, right?
It's the same deal
and
for
in
me.
my and, it,
Sorry, you
and
go
in my opinion, I totally just took your thunder there. My bad, man.
No, go ahead.
Cut me
Go
off.
ahead.
Cut me off if you need to. I think I heard a lifter say that, they're talking about like who's like the most prominent or best lifter in USAPL, whatever, this and that. And in my opinion, like, when did we stop caring about legacy, right? And Taylor was the only person before the split that had like more wins than Russ. And now Taylor went to the IPF. And if we're just talking about USAPL, like, it's got to be Russ. Like, there's nobody who's won like that many times in a row. Just let me know. Arian, Ryan, let me know. Like, if maybe Bonica.
I mean, Ray had how many did Ray have? But
Yeah, I don't know if
many's-
you're talking
what's
about people who are still around USAPL or not.
But Ray went back and forth with Blaine though, right? Didn't he lose to Blaine at one of them?
Only 2014, yeah.
I mean, that still puts a wrench in it. So when did Ray start?
2013.
Well,
How many-
2013 W, 2014 loss, 2015 win, 2016 win,
how many is that?
17,
2017?
18.
17, 18. Ray
19, he won 19.
19, you still pull off the win, yeah.
Ray is somebody who I've always seen as like this untouchable face of powerlifting, and the fact that I have a lifter that's gonna maybe possibly compete against him one day, maybe, I don't know. That's insane to me. I can't even believe it.
Let me ask you this real quick, because Ray signed up for PA Nats. Is Jesus gonna do PA Nats?
So we kind of just agreed that it would be best to just focus on the big one, and whatever happens, happens. Like, I had this talk with Jesus, and he was like, it's like kind of annoying that I have to go do that. So no, we're just gonna do the big one. But going back to what you were saying about Russ and Taylor, I think it's just you could call it, it's not really necessarily a victim, but they're dealing with what happens when you are on top for so long. You you start to get people that don't want to see you on the top anymore. And that's the only reason. There's not really any other reason. And they will try to find like anything that they can about you. Now, here's another thing too. Russ comes from sports. Taylor, I believe, played sports too.
He did. He
And
played
it's
CFL football, semi-pro, like that's professional Canadian football.
yeah, I mean, if he stays with the NFL scouts, look at that. So like you could still make it over here, and you can come to our combines and stuff. My brother did a couple workouts with the Raiders and stuff, but like it's one of those things where the powerlifters, a lot of them, they never played like actual sports, and they don't know what trash talk is, and they don't know what attitude is, and all those things. And when they see it happen for the first time in powerlifting, they don't get it. And it's interesting to see. At the same time, we are a small community, and like at the end of the day, like no matter what anybody says about Taylor and Russ, they've done what they've done, and the sport wouldn't be where it is today without them. I actually think I think John and Gibbs started it, but then Russ coming in was like the single biggest catalyst, and king of the list, of course, for the growth of powerlifting. And Taylor, Russ, them, you can put them in there. And Taylor had said some nice things to me a couple months ago, just because he's been one of those guys that I've known since. Dude, I met him. I used to call him Neo. Like it was. I think it was like I met him at the Arnold. I met him at Nationals, but I saw him at the Arnold, and I was friends with like all the De Novo people. And Taylor, I was like, "Hey, what's up, Taylor? Like, this is my man Neo here, because he had this this like sleek black jacket on, this windbreaker or whatever." So I used to call Neo, and his hair was like perfect, like literally defies physics. And Taylor's just been one of those guys who has been relevant and on top since then. And him and Russ will always be like sort of, they could relate in that front, where they both have been like sort of dominating their class for many, many years. And I think like, for example, when Russ says I generally think I'm the hardest worker, if you're on fucking top, you should think that. Bob should think he's the hardest fucking worker. Keenan should think he's the hardest fucking worker. Jesus, whoever it is, Ashton, I know Ashton's on like a fucking, he's mad now. Ashton's pissed off. Ashton's like, hell no, I'm coming, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Dallas Cowboys just scored, by the way. I don't see Russ saying that as shitting on anyone else. I think a lot of lifters have to you have to cause overload and muscle damage to get stronger. Like everybody has to go through that in order to improve. And he might say something like that, like a Kobe would say, or like a LeBron would say, and it will just trigger a lot of people. But see, in basketball, we got like how many games a week? 2-3 games. You playing how many games a week? 2-3 games a week, 4 games a week, whatever. You just move on to the next thing. It's a new topic. It's whatever. Powerlifting, we don't have too much going on all the time. So we got any little thing that's said gets picked up. Russ can make a fucking tweet about, toilet paper, and Sports Center picks it up, and now powerlifting's talking about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like what the fuck is going on? So, I also think that certain entities might see that there might be a buck or two to be made off trying to get engagement through Russ Wool, trying to get him riled up or something. And we're very aware of that. And we know that we, like, anytime you get negativity, you have to understand, like if Taylor said something about Russ, I would listen to that and say, okay, Taylor, what do you have to say about Russ? Oh, damn, like, really? Is that what you feel? I'd be like, okay, like, I respect you, Taylor. Like, if this is what you're feeling, then I'm gonna listen to it a little bit more than like a random guy with no profile picture in the comments of King of the List. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Taylor's been there from day one. He knows what it's like to put in the work. He's traveled the world. He's competed against whoever. I actually think whoever challenges Taylor next at the head up, not with points, like head up, like straight up in his weight class, if it happens, it could happen. I'm thinking of a couple guys. a couple young juniors I have. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know how long Taylor wants to keep going. Maybe another 10 years. Hey, Taylor, what you got? How much more? I know you don't need to be doing this anymore. He's like, I've done everything there is to do, but him and Russ could have left like years ago. Like they could just have called it, you know. But this is now it's like fun and it's extra credit, in my opinion. Like
Right.
I feel like you know, Sheffy, and then we'll see what happens. But anyway, I think the next person to really, I mean, look at what's happening with Russ. All these guys trying to call out Russ. People are gonna watch that. All these people trying to, like, if somebody does actually get within range of Taylor, that's gonna be something to look at, and that's gonna
Head
be
up.
like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, that's gonna be
Head
crazy,
up,
right?
head to head.
Yes.
That
If
would be
somebody,
phenomenal.
that would be insane. We need that, right? If the big boys, the big heavyweights going at it, that's going to be a good one. You know, I'm heavily invested in the 105s, you know, obviously, like I love that weight class. It's like my weight class, the 110s too. Pretty good, pretty good. We'll see what Mikey can put together. If he competes this year, we'll see what happens. You know, people seem to forget about Mikey Davis. Shout out to Mikey Davis. He's still in the mix. We actually just did a procedure to help with some injuries. And he's feeling amazing now. And you know, as long as we can pace ourselves. Mikey's thing has always been he's so strong. He gets so strong so fast, his joints just can't keep up. And he has a lot of injuries from like equip lifting. And it's just like we're like I don't even know what 100% Mikey looks like. I feel like it will be, you know what I'm saying? So can't count him out. He's very jacked.
Let me
He's
ask
very
you a
swole.
question. Let me ask a question while we're on the topic. Because I don't want to forget, and it's a couple
No
things
worries,
I
no
wanted to make
worries.
sure I got from you. Him, Keiko are not yet signed up for PA Nats. We're not past the cutoff. Are we anticipating waiting for a possible Sheffield invite? Wait to see if it comes, go that route. If it doesn't, we'll probably see him at PA Nats. Is that why we're not seeing him on the roster yet?
I have to think about this one. So
You could start with if to start your sentence if you want to put it.
no, I got it. Well, I will say this. I can't say who. I threw out Keiko as a 220 because I think that would be fun just for me to see as a coach, like, oh, it's not cut and send him full send it, big bench. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to a squat? Is he going to have that, you know, insane 50 kilos added to the total, like Russ not cutting? Like, that's so fun, you know, to think about. But I will say that, in my opinion, I don't want to speak for Keiko, but I do think that we've been going hard for a long time. And if he didn't get into Sheffield, then we will probably just take a year off and just try the next round. As much as I would love him to do 220, I don't know if he wants to do that. Like, what is in it for us? Like, what do we like? Sheffield, is it like World? There's nothing like Worlds. There's nothing. I know people that haven't been to Worlds love shitting on Worlds, but like Ryan, you know what it's like. Like, it's so fun. Like, it's unlike anything, and I think that people should try to go to it at least. You know, Arian knows it's fun, man. You travel, you're with like-minded people, you meet people from all over the world, and it's exciting, and it's you know, it's can be stressful, but it's very rewarding. And I think Keiko really enjoys that, and he is up there. He is a global level threat. Like, he is a world level competitor, and I think that's where he belongs. So as for Mikey, I get the impression that if Mikey didn't get to rematch Emil, which I think would be a huge like missed opportunity, that was such a close battle, and they went back and forth, like first place, like a lot that meet, and it would just be like a crime not to run that back. It's like if you have a fight, right, and you have like the champ, and it's so close, right? You gotta run it back, man. You gotta run it back. You know what I'm saying? So granted, Emil was the champ and he won. And I'll be honest, it was very hard on. I know Mikey took it pretty hard. I took it hard too, because I had been with Mikey for so long, and to get that close and to push Emil to hit a PR.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, anytime you got to push your competition to go outside of what they do and have to execute, he did it, man. All credit to him. It was an amazing battle, and I can't be mad at that. I mean, I tell people, there's a few times, I felt this against Gibbs. I remember looking at John after he went 9 for 9, and I saw how hard his third pull was, and he was done. He was done. His body was done. He had nothing left. And he just looks at me and he's like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I didn't have anything else. Like, that was it. And I think maybe in his mind, he wanted it to be higher, and he thought because he didn't go so high, we lose now. And then I said, hey, man, in my mind, I was like, I'm really proud of John. We went all the way over here. We're going against a killer. We did everything that we could. And now it's Gibbs' turn to pull. And I know he hit 727 in the gym. And if he can hit the 722, like, we just lose. And I said, I can't be mad at it, man. We got to try again next time. And then Gibbs went up, didn't lock it out, and we won. And I couldn't believe. I looked up and I was like, "There's someone looking out for me, man." Someone looking out for me, man. Like, I didn't think we had. Like, I didn't know. I knew because I knew Gibbs could do that, but and that kind of reminded me of Mikey. It was like the opposite, though. It was like the opposite. Like, this time he did get it, and as a coach, it's like those are the ones that it sucked because I was at nationals. And Tina had the laptop, and I'm like watching Mikey, and then I have the flight behind me, right? Going literally, like, we're warming up the girls. I'm watching the screen, and then that happens, and I literally felt so bad. Like, I just felt so sad for Mikey, and I had to just like stomach all of it, and like, all right, Martha's lifting now. I got to think about that. Like, I can't. I got to just move on. Next play. It's like next play. Like, you turn the ball over, fucking sucks. It fucking sucks because that's just your team, right? But gotta move. Like, that's it. Forget you can't stay emotional in that. You gotta move on because there's shit that has to be done still. So it's like when Russ hits a big squat at a meet and everybody wants to like take pictures. It's like, brother, we got a bench and deadlift still. Like,
it ain't over. Save the celebration.
It's hard with him because. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say with Mikey, though, he does have an opportunity to rematch Emil at Sheffield or Worlds if he goes to PA Nats.
Yeah.
So revenge is around the corner. Or redemption. Or
I have to. There's a lifter. Arian, do you have the roster for that meet?
I'm pulling up right now.
PA Nats, could you DM it to me or do the chat?
I got it up right now.
Yeah, if you could show me that. There is a 105 that I am actually there is a lifter that I'm
I mean, there's Justin Rogers.
Yeah. Captain America, Justin Rogers.
Didn't he just do bench something? Bench?
Yeah.
He's strong, and he's stronger than his previous because I remember he was in the military, he was taking time off, doing things. He talked to me in DMs a little, and the last he had competed, he just like on a whim threw some stuff together and went in, but hadn't deadlifted much, started squatting a little, but his top end is a lot more than his last meet. He'll be good.
So PA Nats is when? February what?
24 through 26.
24, March, April, May, June. So we've got like a couple months for that one. Yeah, for Mikey, I think Mikey would not be opposed to trying 110, but also, Brian, now that you bring that up, I have not presented that to him. I have not said to him, hey, man, like, look, like, we could do, well, we'll see. Would Emil do Worlds?
Emil Norling is for sure going to go to Worlds. Like, that's what Sweden is all in, right? Like, the Swedes are going to go to Worlds. So Emil will do Sheffield, and then he'll do Worlds, and he'll be there.
That does sound very fun.
Anatoly will be back full charge this time too.
Oh boy!
Like the real Anatoly, not the.
I just want to like see him take a safe third squat and see what he's totals at, and he just might be a beast, man. Like, I feel like Anatoly is like. It looked like he had a bench injury, because he went super light on bench, and I know he's hit like fucking mid fives or something. And he's just insane to me. When he moved up a weight class, I was like, oh my God, this guy's gonna lift the world. He's so exciting. But yeah, man, there's a lot of opportunities for Mikey. I think I have to run that by him. I'm leaning towards I don't know. I feel like him being in the mix at in Memphis would be really fun. But I also think that like he got so damn close to being a world champion. That's gonna eat him, and he's gotta do it. Like he's gonna be like, fuck, Joey, I gotta go. I gotta get it once. I gotta try to get it once, man. And I
then
think
Sheffield Cubs, like here's the thing, like
oh boy.
here's the thing, in like to your point, Anatoly in 2021 hit 936 or whatever. 2022, obviously, war in Ukraine. So, I mean, his total went way down, and obviously for obvious reasons. But if he had kept pace from 930s in 2021 to 940s or 50s in 2022, we're talking Anatoly's like up there with the boys in the USAPL who are in the 210s. Only they're really under 105. Like he's up there with those fellas. Like Anatoly full steam.
Imagine if Anatoly was like 248 pounds and cut to 110. He's
Wow.
gonna squat
I mean,
like
he's pretty thick.
He's gonna bench like 550 and he's gonna pull like 750.
Look, he's already pretty thick. I don't know if he's gonna go 110, but
does he cut?
No,
I'm just saying it's a fun thing to think about, right? Let me do the.
But what I'm saying for Michael Davis, if he shows up at Worlds, he's got a meal one more time, and he's got to come back in Anatoly, who hopefully is conditioned because at Euros he wasn't. If Anatoly's back to being 100, Michael Davis can go for a world title against the mill, against Anatoly, and let's see how the story ends.
I think Anatoly, if he did go 110, I think he could do like 955, like full power, like everything bulked out of his mind, which puts him right up there, man. And actually, when I was in Korea, I asked Keenan, and I said, do you think that, hold on. I said, do you think that one day, like, I don't remember the exact context, but I was like, the goal is like 1,000 kg, right? Like that, like you have to believe that it's possible. And he was like, he said, I think he said something like, it's inevitable. Like, I feel like it's inevitable. Or I feel like it's like, that's,
he went Thanos on you.
He went Thanos on me, man. And I was like, and I love, honestly, Keenan's great. I really enjoyed talking to Keenan, even just like hearing him, like when we do like coach talk and like hearing him talk about it, he's really smart. He knows what he's talking about. And it definitely shows in his lifting. He's a great dude. And I told him, Keenan, I don't know if you're listening, but I said, Keenan, you could be a pillar in the Asian community, because it's a very, I mean, I would imagine that in South Korea or just like anywhere that like powerlifting is not necessarily like the cultural normal thing to do. Like, whereas like in Europe, like, weightlifting, something with strength, something like that. That's what they're going to do. And I said, you could be that guy. Like, you could be that pillar over there. And I was telling Julia, she's like kind of like his agent almost. And I was like, Julia, like, you got to like, he's got to do this. Like, he could be this, he could be that. So, and he's being a lot more active on social media, and that's really cool to see. But yeah, he's a great dude. He's, like I said, man, like, I'm a fan of the sport too. I might, like, you know what I mean? Like me and Arian, we can't go commenting on certain people's lists because people be like, oh, look at the Johnny trying to poach somebody. So we just got to be quiet. But when I come on here, I could say like, hey, I'm a fan of these lifters. And I want to see it just take off, man. I just want to see everything pushed to another level. So that's another thing. Going back to the Russ Taylor villain thing, it's like they can be villains, but you guys got to understand that like what they're doing, it benefits everyone. It helps the whole sport. It helps all of us. So like they could leave. Russ could do bodybuilding and just do fitness. He doesn't have to do this. He'll fit right in right there. He'd probably pop off more, right? He'd probably have a bigger following if he just focused on that and didn't compete. I don't know that actually. I'm just saying.
It could happen though.
He could do that. So is that what we want? How boring would it be? Like, come on,
This is what
like,
this is it. This is where I don't get. Well, first off, just to double back, Ashton was just on the podcast. He said he's going to do 1,000 kilos. Keenan was on the podcast before him, and to echo your sentiments, super nice guy. Both those guys are going to clash at Mega Nat.
they're both amazing. They're both
Yeah.
like hella respectful gentlemen. Like if they, you need some, whatever those guys need, man. It was really, I enjoy, like, I got to sit down and eat with both of them many times. I mean, I've known fucking Ashton forever. Like, I just, it's different. But Keenan was a great dude. And it's always like the big, strong dudes that are just, they're just chill. Like, they have, they know what they're capable of. They don't need to put on a front or anything. You know what I mean? So,
but speaking of like Russ and Taylor, to your point, if we lost them, like, think about this. If Russ
goes back,
if,
man.
If someone just takes Russ, pulls him out, and takes him out of the sport, like, it's crazy to me. Do people not know how awesome it is to have Russ or even Taylor? When Taylor goes off, and he's come on the podcast and gone off, and in those clips we drop them. If
you take Russ, like Bob and one other person out, take them out. They're just not in USAPL anymore.
It's tough.
That's not good.
You don't want to lose people.
Yeah, Keenan. I mean, but see, we know Keenan, right? We know Ashton. Bob was actually he did like, I remember he did some crazy videos before he was in powerlifting, right? So it was cool to see him make the transition and actually be like very good. But like, I feel like USAPL is like in a very important like transitory period. One thing that USAPL has that's great is the collegiate circuit. That's like, they do that really well, and that's like a super amazing thing. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but there's someone who started a petition because they couldn't get into collegiates. Like, that's how serious it is. Like,
I heard it's sold out already.
Yeah, like they really want that. So PA needs to get on that. Whatever you got to do, PA, figure it out. Get that going.
Right.
Which is hard because once you're in with the school, that's it. Like, I'm not really sure how it works, but I hate that we split. I really do. Felt very strange being at nationals with like I had like this infinity gauntlet with like 2 gyms in it, and all the rest of my gyms were like in South Africa. It was very, very weird. It just felt, you know what I felt, guys? I don't know if I ever said this on here, and you guys could let me know. Well, I don't know, because I don't know if you guys like were there, but I don't, Arian, I don't even remember. Were you at Nash? I don't even remember if you had No, you weren't. You couldn't have been. You had to be at Worlds at the same time, same fucking time. I remember, I think it was, I could be wrong. You tell me, Ryan. Was Gabby Martinez on here talking about how she felt after she won? Was it here?
Not Gabby. No, it wasn't here.
Somewhere else. Maybe it wasn't Gabby. I don't know who it was, but the point is, after Russ wins nationals, I'm like, now what? There's no Worlds to get ready for. There's no, like, what do we do now? Like, it's kind of like a weird feeling, Whereas like after PA Nats, I was like, all right, guys, now I'll get ready for the next one. And you know what's after that, and it was like, and what was so amazing about it, and I got to come on here soon again because stuff might change, but I had this vision, I had this idea that was risky, but I felt like we could pull it off, and it was kind of nuts. And I told some lifters, and I said, hey, there's some opportunities that are opening up elsewhere, and I really feel like this would be a good thing for you to pursue. And took a little bit of Italian convincing, Italian wheeling and dealing, but we got them to see eye to eye, and we did some stuff. And as you guys saw, Jesus was announced. By the way, that post, I think that's like the best post engagement wise that they've ever had. Like at that post was crazy. Yeah, it's like 10,000 likes. I have to maybe one with like the mountain or something, but you know, it's just a good feeling when you take a bet, you bet on yourself, you bet on your people, and it pays off, man. It's one of those.
Well, hang on a sec. What were you hinted at before though? Before we get off, where were we going with this? You were talking
No,
about.
I'm happy that Delaney got into Sheffield, and Delaney is a good example because I said, hey man, and this is the benefit. Like I coach Russ too, right? So I know what Russ is gonna do. And I'm like, hey man, Russ is like very certain he's not doing IPF right now. He might come back if there's something interesting. Something interesting. He might
Or
come
if-
back. I don't know. Yeah, man.
What is happening?
That might
What
be
if
What is
funny.
happening?
What if they don't let him back?
I got a feeling in a few months we're gonna be looking back at this, and everyone will be like, "Make sure you look at the video version of that podcast." Yeah, because
see
Joey
Joey's
was
face.
winking. Joey's winking and nudging. And
So hold on. Taylor's post has 6,500 likes. Jesus' post has like 9,000 something. And that's crazy to me, right? Taylor's obviously Jessica, 3,200. You know, and I look at, I mean, we got Ryan, we got to care about this stuff, right? As much as I fucking hate it, man, we got to pay attention to these things.
hate it, I love it.
Agatha popped off. Emil's Worlds post was pretty good. But you know, I just like again, Delaney could have gone to Worlds and lost, and then like now he's not in, you know, now he's not in one federation, and now he gets nothing, and he just went across the world. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it's just one of those things where we took a bet and he got in. I mean, we knew Amanda was going to get in. Jesus getting in is amazing, and I just like it's just I don't know if you guys know, but Jesus is bringing everybody. He's bringing like his whole family. Like he's
Yeah.
he's bringing everybody. Like it's you know it's this is not a joke. Like this is gonna be crazy. So I'm just going back on the SPD page trying to find a post that they've posted in the last months that beat the Jesus post, and I'm yet to find it. I've reached the strongman section, so perhaps here. But anyway, the point is, powerlifting's growing. There's a community for it. There is a niche for it. It has potential. I'm excited where things are going, and I mean, even just looking at the girls like Jessica, Agatha, how I don't know if there's anybody else. Have they announced anyone else for that, or is it just them two?
I think it's just them two right now, right?
For the women's side?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just announced Krastev.
Yeah. Emil was the last. Emil Krasov in the 93s.
How many you guys want to happen to know how many wild cards we're missing, would you?
I forget off the top of my head which side is 4, which side is 5. We'd have to go through it.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's still a lot. That's 9.
Yeah, and they've done some of them. So yeah, there's still, especially for the men's side, I feel like a lot more is up in the air. I think the women's side, there's more options.
I mean, Leah's got to be getting one. Let's be honest here.
Well, let's get spicy on the podcast since we're here. Me personally, how's it going, Leah? Joey here. Nice to see you or hear you or digitally see you. Me personally, I see if Leah gets in, I totally understand why, and I understand how things work. And not everybody is gonna get that, but I do. And there are other people that were in Leah's situation that had the same opportunities that could not put it together. So what do you guys think? Do you guys, and Arian, just pretend, just don't be biased at all. I know that's impossible, but like, do you guys think that based on what Leah has, you know, performance wise, obviously she's very, very strong and she belongs there. But if we're going on the criteria of, you know, worlds, you know, for her to get another chance at another meet, and this is just reading the internet, you know what I'm saying? What do we think about that? Do you guys think Leah should be in? Do you think she's too prominent of an entity to where if she wasn't in at a tournament like this, it would be sort of a miss from the federation side, from the sponsor side, from whoever's running it, right? You think? Go ahead, Ryan. Tell me what you think.
So straight up, I could steel man the case for you right now. Leah holds, it's all based off of world records. Sheffield, for anyone listening, I know you know the Joy, but for anyone listening, a reminder, it's based off of world records. So you win by
Not
the
dots,
percentage,
not dots.
not dots, not IGL points. So you win by the percentage of the world record, by the percentage that you break it. Leah Bavois owns the 63 as well as the 69. And to hold an event based off of world records when she holds two in two different weight classes would be very awkward.
Is there any girl that has both like that right now? Both. Do we know of any girl that has both right now?
It has the world record total in 2 weight classes?
Yes.
Not in the IPF.
Okay, that's all I just wanted to emphasize. Go ahead, Ryan.
Okay, and on top of that, let me further steelman this by the star power she brings. To lose that star power would be incredibly impactful. I mean, incredibly impactful. So not only does she have the resume with having won world titles, international titles, pass that test to be able to lift at an international level, and we all know how tough international level is, but also having the 2 world records in 2 weight classes. So when you show up and you're talking, they're going for the record and it's Leah's and she's not there, it's awkward. And then in terms of star power, Leah Bavois drops a post and you can see how many likes and engagement she has. She's a star.
200,000 fucking likes on the world record pin post on her page.
This is what I'm saying. She
that's I mean, I don't even know.
She's a mega star, my friend. Leah Bavois star power. I know it's difficult because she's not American, so some people in the US might not realize she's fucking
I know.
huge. You know, I know you know, but like other people, I think other people forget. Other people don't realize how fucking impactful Leah Bavois is and the drawing power she brings. And not only she hits on all, she's like Russ. Russ is in Leah Bavois, like a beautiful girl who is literally a poster girl as well. Like she's a marketer's dream, a brand's dream, also talented, also
Ryan,
she's got an autobiography out, for God's sake, of her life story. Her with the autistic background is so inspirational, dude. It's got to be
This is so you understand that, and I know you were in showbiz.
Yes, sir.
Not to get too personal, but my family, I'm from Los Angeles. My family was very much in showbiz, like, you know, behind me, not me. Like
you told me, you told me your mom, right? That was You told
she
me
was in Ace Ventura. Yeah, she was in Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
She did other things too. But I'll just leave it at that. But so okay, Russ, he's got the smile, he's got the body. Pause. He's all American. He looks great. He could talk on camera. He's a good people person. I've been with him all over the world. I've been with him at meet and greets, everything. I see how he handles the kids. He's fucking amazing. He would be if I'm coming to Fox, if I'm coming to ESPN, he can't lose with this guy, man. He's gonna be nuts, you know. Jessica, again, she's got the look. She's active in her story. She talks more. She's being more social. She has a good sense of humor. You know, she's great. She looks like if she dresses casual, you would not know that she's fucking ripping 550 off the ground like that. You know what I'm saying? Like she's got the package. Leah, same thing. Like these are the lifters. Like as much as powerlifters, like you gotta be able to get on the mic and control the room sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And let's be honest, not all powerlifters have that. And there's like, you could have 3 guys in a weight class that are all super strong and they have decent followings, but the guy who engages the audience, who's funny, who's got the charisma, who's got all those things, he's going to pop off, right? And it is what it is. And I don't know why in this sport people frown upon that. Let's take Weeds for an example. Weeds is young. He's 21 years old. Like, I linked up with him. Russ saw something in this man, and we started building this guy. And he took it, and he embraced social media. He's in tune with the kids, and he brings so many new kids to the sport, right? And he tries things different, and he cares about his fashion, and he's doing all these things. And you know, he's doing the things that we need. Like powerlifting needs influencers. We fucking need them, man. And it's amazing to me that Jessica and Leah, who, I mean, I'm sure that they don't have a guy following them in the room with the camera, like recording their YouTube videos and editing them, right? So to have the following that they have, that's very compelling. Those are the things that we need in the sport. So we need to encourage those things. And if there's any new lifters getting into the sport that already have big followings that happen to be decently strong, trying out powerlifting, maybe we should embrace those people instead of pushing those people away. And I
100%.
don't understand why people don't see the bigger picture. Kind of going back to what we were talking about, Arian, what do you think? You think Ryan pretty much like handled it, or can you see a reason for why Leah probably shouldn't get in?
Yeah,
And
I was going.
I'm just playing devil's advocate. I think Leah, I like Leah. So yeah, go ahead.
I like doing that too. Steel manning the opposite argument. Just
Yeah,
for the sake of it.
you gotta
Yeah.
just to see like kind of both sides.
I went back and looked. It's 4 total spots on the women's side, 5 total spots on the men's side. So you have 4 spots. They already said Agata, that was the closest battle at Worlds. Most likely, like Jad Jacob's going to get in. That was the next closest battle at Worlds. So then from there, it's like, who do you go with? Because there weren't other battles. Like the 84 plus, Bonica was pretty far ahead. 84s, Amanda was pretty far ahead.
Exactly. So do you
Tiff in the
value
47s was pretty far ahead. 52s, Noemi was pretty far ahead. So then you have to say, okay, do you take like a Meg Scanlon, who was the world champ in the 63s when Leah didn't make weight, or you take like a legacy person like Kimberly Wofford, who's won like, the most world titles and multiple weight classes or whatever, or you have to look outside. So I think the best move is look outside. You take a Carlina, who has the world record total and is from an underrepresented region.
600 kg.
And then you take Leah, who has the world record total in 2 weight classes. And I looked it up. Like Jess has like 270,000 followers. Amanda has like 190,000, and Leah has 150,000.
We're bringing like millions of followers.
That's
to
right.
This thing together. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't sure what they were looking for. Like, are you guys going to go on clout? Are you guys going to go on merit? Are you guys going to go on a combination of both? Are you guys going to go on like seniority with the company? Like, what what is the metric? And
They probably looked at more. They probably looked at more than one metric and said, "Okay, which one do we think is going to be the best?"
Well, also, like if you do this wrong, like I can think of a lifter right now that if they take, people are going to be like, they're gonna burn some shit down. You know what I'm saying? Because, and I heard a lifter say this. Shout out to Sonita. She said something like certain countries getting many tries to get into Sheffield. And would those tries be considered? So that's like a weird thing. Like, I don't know, man. At the end of the day, if it's for the betterment of the sport and it's a net win for everyone,
It's like
it's like
college.
man. So fucking
It's like
hard.
college football when they're always trying to figure out who to put in the playoffs and who's going to be the one out, and everyone arguing about it. But also, it happens every year. So if you're on the bubble and you don't make it in, you got the following year, and you got to do better. If Leah, let's say Leah doesn't get in, like we're all pretty certain she gets in, but let's say Leah doesn't get in. Well, then next year you have to make weight, you have to win worlds, you have to break that world record title.
And it would set a precedent like, hey, like you didn't do it where it counted. But there could be other lifters that may or may not get in that were not at Worlds, and then that's going to be like, okay, well then what are we going off of? Like, what are we doing? Are we just doing any IPF meet? Can we just do a local meet?
But that's why they have the multiple tiers. So if you want to get your spot, you win worlds, you're within 5%, you guarantee that spot. From there, you're no longer guaranteed. It's however they want to choose, and that's your fault. It's not really a fault, but it's your fault for not, hitting the guaranteed spot.
Yeah, you take a
fault is like fault.
It's not the right word.
Is it not the right word though?
In terms of
you're responsible for a lot. But I mean, if you're not strong enough, I guess it's not your fault.
In terms of meritocracy, the way they set it up with win worlds, 95% straight up, there's no debating. No one can take it from you. Just do that. It's yours. That's an entire meritocracy in place. Beyond that, that's what World Wild Card is you're going to get a little wild. Let's see who makes a good matchup now. So what they'll do is who plays based off of meritocracy. Now, who's an accompanying wild card to make it interesting? Well, Jess won on meritocracy. Agata's an obvious wild card to accompany that meritocracy. Jad, Joy,
Carlina in there.
So that's why Carlina is a really good pick. We'll see.
Because the reason why I think you have to get her in there because if both of those girls go head up, Agatha and Jessica, and neither of them go over 600 kg, that's the only thing people are going to talk about because there's a girl that exists that did it. You know what I'm saying? So you go have them go head up, and you just, I mean, I'm gonna be losing my shit. I'm gonna be literally coaching. I'm gonna be like, wait, hold on, I gotta watch. I'm bringing like 3 coaches with me. I'm gonna be like, guys, give me 2 seconds.
Give me
It's like
2
whenever
seconds.
it's like whenever Ray did like 1,000 pounds at nationals or did like
Everybody
490
fucking
kilos.
stop what they're doing.
It's like, yeah, I'm there to coach, but you also want to witness history on the side.
Dude, I remember that, Arian. I remember that. I was in the back room. I was with Sumner and Grant Higa, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch this right now. I watched it on the screen, and I knew he was gonna do it. And it was just the energy. That was the first prime time ever. That was fucking great, man.
Did you watch it live? You guys watched it
I was
live,
there.
live
We
in
were
person?
there. Yeah, we
Fuck,
were there.
I watched on the stream.
Yeah, no, I was right there, and I just, dude, I'm telling you, man, it's not the same when Ray's not there. He's just always at the meets. He's just always been at every Arnold I've been at, almost, I think, pretty much. You know, and just seeing him there, like always warming up over in the corner with Matt Gary's like a billion reds on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you gotta have Ray there. It's just fucking bring him for no reason. You know, it's like he's just like, he's super respectable, big lovable dude. You know, we love Ray's the best, man. Ray, I'll never, you know, people want to cause shit with him and Jesus, and I was like, nope, I respect Ray. I don't hate Ray at all. I love Ray. I think Ray paved the way for us. Ray was the reason people watched the Supers for the longest time.
Yeah.
And then when we had Jezza and Kelly, that was a very exciting time too.
You know, to your point
Jezza's
about
training.
ESPN, he made
It is.
ESPN not just the Instagram, but like the real ESPN when he squatted at the gym.
Yeah.
He made all over worldwide news. People forget he broke into the mainstream. I was showing up at work.
Big
People who had no
Ray.
idea about powerlifting were like, some guy squatted 1,000 pounds. I'm like, yeah. How did you find out? They're like, it's on the news. I'm like, oh shit.
Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens when Jesus does what I know he can do. Jesus' deadlift is getting disgusting.
Dude, Jesus was on here
disgusting.
and Jesus said, gas me up. Steel man this argument for me, if you will. Jesus is on here saying, I know it sounds crazy, but I think I could do a couple things in 2023. I think A, I can beat Taylor Atwood in Sheffield. And B, I can become the #1 super heavyweight, tested or untested. I could do both of those. And I was like, holy fuck, I started crunching some numbers. And depending on what Taylor does, like maybe Taylor's 820, which is insane for 74. But if he's 820, what does, you know, if you start crunching,
what's Taylor's best when he weighed like 1 pound over? Oh, no, it was at a local in Florida. He hit something crazy. It was right after COVID.
But he beat that at nationals, the 838.5.
838.5 is the biggie with at 74. Yeah.
Was that,
but then he did
750?
790 at World, so it's like, where are you going to fall between 790
Yeah, 790
and
was, he slept walk through that.
Are we assuming he can't do 840? Like he might. That's the thing. We don't know what kind of Taylor. We don't know what kind of Taylor we're gonna get. I don't know. I mean, Arian would probably know. Like, is he healthy? Is he injured? Like, I don't know. He's got, you know, other shit going on. I could ask Delaney. I know they hang out all the time. But I don't know, man. I just know that like Taylor's world record is what?
790.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. So it's like
so that's the two factors. Is one, like,
Let me do
for
some
all these
math.
people, can they come in healthy? And then two is like, what does he need to win? Like, why go 840 when you can win with 820?
790 what?
0.5.
790.5.
Here's the thing. He's got to finish before Jesus. So like, I know your point, Arian, where like, you know, you don't have to break the record by too much or whatever, but Jesus is coming after him. So it might be,
It depends.
It's
You'd have to calculate, like, okay, like how big of a jump can the other person handle, and then, you know, you put your deadlift high enough where they have to take
Honestly,
like a 30 kilo jump.
Jesus's deadlift is like unlimited. What's the world record super heavyweight total right now?
11. It's raised, but
It's
not
like
by
just
much.
less than what Jesus did at nationals.
11.
No, more, isn't it? Just more.
No, his more is his American record because it wasn't at an international meet.
Oh shit.
Was
Okay.
that Arnold?
11:05 in Columbus, 2017.
Yeah, let's crunch some numbers right now. What does
11:05 times 5. I'm just gonna add 5% and see what
We
it
could
would have
do
to be.
we could do a mediocre 820 for Taylor, and then we could do an 840 for Taylor.
Jesus has to do if Jesus has to do like I think it's 1116. 60 times 2.2046.
Yeah, I mean 1160 if you're doing the 5%.
Yeah, let's
11
just say, well, because 830 I think is like it's a really high total for Taylor, but it's also like not over his best. It's like just like reasonable. Like if he does 840, fuck, we gotta do more. But 1160 and then times 2.2046. So Jesus have to do 2557, which if Taylor beats that, I don't even fucking like. I'm just like, dude, like, come on, like these are barriers are being broken, man. Like, what's going on here? So let's break it down. From my perspective, let's just say, let's go 1030, let's go 606, and let's go. Actually, you know what? Minus, what did I say? 2557, 921. It's possible. It's very possible because he might be able to pull 950. I'm fucking not joking. Go look at his 910. I'm not joking. I'm really not. I'm not like trying to.
No,
be
I
funny.
seen. I reposted. It was crazy. Now he hadn't squatted and benched yet, but still he's not cutting weight, obviously. So like that helps the super heavyweight man. There's no weight cutting, no.
Dude, I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you right now. If Jesus squats low thousands and we bench that 606, nobody's fucking safe. Nobody. Don't sleep on Keiko though. Don't sleep on Keiko. What's the world record total? 868? Is it?
878.5.
878? Okay.
He's already hit more. He's already hit
done
892.5. Sorry, go ahead, Aaron. He's hit 892.5 already, Keiko. So if
but 5% for Keiko is 922. So if like Jesus and Taylor are 5% above, that's big.
I think 907.5 is like 100% gonna be there for Keiko.
Oh, that's huge.
I don't know about. We gotta see. Like honestly, I haven't pushed Keiko all the way, and these are decisions that I will ask them in the moment. I say, hey, like it's gonna be like Taylor's gonna go, and then immediately I'm gonna be like, Delaney, like this is what you need to pull. Like, do you want to pull that or do you want to secure this? Boom, we'll do that. Next person, like Keiko. I'm probably gonna send the other coaches to talk to them, and we'll just do one at a time. And I'll say, like Keiko, like, look, if you pull this, you win this, and this. But here's the thing, like, what does Keiko want more? Does he want to get that revenge, or does he want to go for it all? You know what I'm saying? Like, and can we do both?
You might do both.
Right?
Well, here's the thing. If Taylor doesn't do 838.5 or whatever the hell, if Taylor's total comes down a little, it's still superhuman total of like 820 range.
Yeah.
He's 820 range, but it's superhuman, but not God level. Like 838's God level. If it's superhuman, 820, well, Keiko's God or Keiko's superhuman too. So he doesn't have to do 820 something. Now he just has to do 810
I think
something.
because Taylor's going first, I think he's got to empty the tank. And he would agree, empty the tank, leave it all on the platform. Because there's going to be all the bigger guys. Like, this is what's fucking weird about this is like everybody's going to be going after him. And like, I will have to have all the math done before and just assume a big total and then like readjust that down. And I'll have multiple people doing the math there. So that I just have to watch the lift and do the math. So those are one of the things that, I just need to know, like, hey, what does Keiko need to win? And like two options: win your class, get that back, or become the champion of champions. And then after that,
I should just throw out there. This is if Keiko gets wild card invite, just so no one gets lost in the sauce. Sorry, go ahead. I just had to throw that out there so people don't get.
I was also going to say this. I was also going to say in this, what if he could try and win Sheffield or do the placing for Sheffield, and that would also potentially get him on the team for Worlds, and then he can do the weight class thing at Worlds.
Question.
Let's keep doing
if Keiko does PA Nats and hits a 900 kg total, does that count as a world record, or is that just going to be a national record?
Just a national record.
See, but in Euros and stuff, I think you could do. I don't
But
know.
You
that's
can do world records
Europeans.
at Euros. You can do
I
world
know.
records at Euros,
Well,
but
you
it's
could do
international.
world records over there, though. That's the thing. So,
But that's
But-
Europeans, that's not British nationals.
But
We have
you-
North Americans. You can go to Cayman Islands and hit 900 kilos.
I was gonna say that, Arian. There
See,
you go.
but see, they don't ever push that to us. We just kind of worry about our own nationals. America's so like in our little nation, and that's
Right.
it. Anything outside, we don't pay attention to.
We always send like the second and third tier people to like North Americans, whereas like Europeans, the top lifters go to Europeans.
That's
Yeah,
the difference, and I'd like
so-
that to change.
I agree, man. We need more
The,
like
the timing is tough, like June to August. And also, like, Europeans are used to competing a bunch, where here, people are like Bryce Lewis would compete like twice a year. He'll just do nationals and worlds, or like, someone
It's
else would
another
do.
93 to worry about.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Or people would do like nationals, Arnold World like 3 times, but they're not doing like girl power, Europeans, nationals, worlds, Arnold UK. They're not just going nonstop.
point is Jesus it's very possible, and we're gonna push the body to the absolute limit. The one thing I don't like about this is that we gotta get ready like March, April, May, June, like fucking right afterwards is World. So it's just
But at least for Jesus, like if he goes all out at Sheffield, he can break the world record total there. He could win Sheffield there. Then he's not going to have much competition at Worlds. You can cruise him at Worlds for the title.
Although that Timur kid,
I don't know, man. What if Ray goes there? We're like, shit.
can you imagine if Ray goes and they battle? So is Arian?
We
Is there a
gotta
way
be
that
peak all the time.
is there a way that Ray, because Ray is probably going to win nationals, become the national champ? Is there a way that they both go to Worlds?
Yeah, possibly because Ray could get in through winning nationals, and Jesus could get in through the secondary, which is at Sheffield.
And someone else
Depends
has
on
to
how many spots.
someone else has to get pulled, or someone
Well-
else has to drop out.
Someone else at nationals has to not hit the qualifying total. Like if the 59s don't hit, there's an open spot. If the 66s don't hit, there's an open spot. It depends on who goes to nationals and who gets the
This would be
spots.
a very
And someone
interesting
could pull out.
conversation. This will be a very interesting conversation next year because all the totals will be capped to infinity, and like now it's gonna be like, imagine Taylor does like 845 or something, and it's like, dang, can he do 850?
Are you saying cap to like get into Sheffield or to get on
No,
the
like,
Torpedoes.
like next Sheffield, yeah, and the Carpinos are gonna be like the qualifying for national or for worlds is gonna be like crazy high, and then the Sheffield world records are gonna be pushed to oblivion.
I
So,
mean,
like,
for-
what's
I was just gonna say for the team, they can always change the numbers. They can always switch to Carpino,
Yeah.
and
Same with
also the
Sheffield.
date of nationals can always switch where it's spaced out more. But for Sheffield, yeah, that would be interesting if like in a year or two, like 2 people qualify out of the 16, and everyone else just goes wild cards.
Yeah, or like, what if eventually nobody breaks the world records at Sheffield, and it's just who gets close enough to it? Like, let's say the totals are like, well, you're within 5%, but you're not over it by 5%, and that's how you're scoring.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's gonna be interesting.
They could
Ryan-
drop the records idea and just go totally different platform. Even if they don't want calculator idea, they might be like, let's do head-to-head matchups only then, or whatever. Who knows? They can be fluid with it anyways. But
Ryan, I was
you're-
gonna
it's a good
say
point.
for Ray's local meet, he did 10-10, and the qualifier for the team is 10-13.5. So basically, he has to hit 10-15, 5 keys more.
Matt Gary texted me and said, Ray's lifts. I think he did a pretty big squat, but I think after that, they took the foot off the gas. So 10-10 was comfortable. So I think, judging by what Matt texted me, he should be comfortably becoming a national champ. And fuck me. Listen, if Jesus, let's play the if game because it's so fucking fun. If Jesus wins Sheffield and then battles Ray at Worlds, it's a movie. What are we doing
else
here?
do you want,
Who's
bro?
who's playing you? Who's playing you in this movie, Joey? That's all I want.
What else we want is Ray
The
at
robot,
Sheffield.
the fucking AI bot.
I said, what
Yeah.
else we want, Joey, is Ray at Sheffield.
Yes, that I mean, this year I feel like is going to be really good. We have a lot of exciting things to look forward to. By the way, Cowboys are up 18-0. Everybody saw
Oh,
that
shit.
coming.
Now everyone knows when we're recording this.
That's right. Well, that's right. That's right.
Is that bad?
No,
No. But how does yours say 18-0? Mine says 12-0. What the hell?
Oh, I'm ahead then.
Yeah.
They just scored right now. It's about to be halftime. But yeah, Ryan, is there anything burning you want me to answer before we dip out?
Yeah, because you know what? When we were talking earlier, you're like, all right, fellas, let's try to keep this 60 minutes. And we're like 2.5 hours deep. Dog,
That's
we
not gonna
talk.
happen.
This is
And I
dog,
was fucking late.
dude.
So it's only two. It's like just hitting 2 hours because we started late. We
yeah,
started. I have
you're
my
right.
time at 7:38 p.m.
Fuck.
We talk like fucking crazy people.
Dude, Tina left to go work out like an hour and a half ago. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she was here initially.
Shit.
I was gonna ask you, going into South Korea, so who hooked that up? Who paid your guys' way, etc. And also, because I think Tina actually heard one of the podcasts, jumped in my DMs, like, I think you got some of that wrong. So I was like, okay.
So no, it was the USAPL Korea guy,
Okay.
who's in charge of their federation. He reached out to us, and I was like, hey, can we get my boy Weez in there? Can we get Russ in there? Or Russ was the one that I think they reached out to first, and Russ put in the good word for me, and then put in a good word for Weez, and then like me and Russ were thinking the same thing, like we should bring Weez too.
Could we bring six?
They did provide financial assistance, but I wanted a business flight, so I had to pay like the difference. Does that make sense?
Well, man, I thought you guys would have been in that Get Better Today jet.
Russ, okay, hold on.
What was going on there?
Hold on. No joke. Russ had some homies, and I was like, brother, everybody chips in a couple grand, we could do it. Like,
get the fuck out of here.
Because if you do like 5 or 8 of us and you split it, like Brad takes them all the fucking time, zoo culture. And I'm like, dude, like what I paid on my ticket for my business class to Korea, like literally contribute that to like the jet, and you just have everybody buy business tickets basically.
Oh, you better slide in my DMs. If we're gonna go, listen, we're gonna go 90s Puff Daddy. If we're going 90s Puff Daddy, I'm coming.
Bro, I see the black jet where I live. The black jet is here. Like it's literally, I see it in the airport, Danville's area,
you lit up.
all those guys that like I literally drive by it all the time. So it's actually not as like astronomical, because if you're gonna get a business flight, that's like 5x it's more than that. It's like if a normal flight over there is like $1,000, you're gonna pay like 5 times that for business. But you get like unlimited food, you get to go to sleep. It really helps, honestly. It really helps. Like I would die. Like the boys, like me and Russ got business, and we were just chilling. Like it was good. I would like everybody, if you can, put it as a business expense and take it, because it's Arian, you should try it seriously. Ryan, you too. If you guys are going around, like if you have good backs, if you got good lower backs, then fuck it, sit in the chair all day. But
that's right.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make all types of crazy demands on the IPF.
No, seriously, tell them. Some guys, like when they sleep, they could just like lean back and they're just perfectly comfortable in their own like body, and they just sleep like that. Me, I need to be flat or on my side. I like sitting like
you know what? Leah just messaged me. I'm going to Silent Worker to do commentary work. I did it last year. I'm gonna message her back and be like, listen, love, yesterday's price
is not today's price, my guy.
She goes, are you talking business? No, love. I'm talking the Get Better Today jet. It's gonna get fueled up. Okay, I'm bringing Russ. I'm bringing Joey, and I'm bringing Jamal Bronner.
Let's go.
Get ready. We're all getting suspended.
I'm totally down. I'm totally down to do it. I just don't know, like, it feels like such a stupid thing to ask. Like, hey, Brad, like, what's good with the jet? Like, go ask Steve, because he's got like big YouTuber friends that be like they do it. Like, what's the process? Like, how much is it? You know, da 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 da. Obviously, we want to go far enough, and it has to be like worth it. But I'm serious. Like, a jet is like everybody's chipping in. It's not just like, you know, I don't know. It makes it way easier when everybody's chipping in. If it costs 30 grand and everybody chips in 3K, I'm gonna spend 5K on a business flight anyway. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, like, you don't want to do that like all the time. But one time, like, you got to think about this, right? Me and Tina, we fucking work our asses off. Like, we like slave. And I thought about it the other day, and I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I'm like, what do we do? Like, what am I saving for? Like, my house value goes up. What am I doing? Like, what do I, the Model S, they just reduced the price on it by a shitload. And I'm like, oh boy, I'm looking at that baby. I have a Model 3 that I love. And I'm just like, what am I doing with my money? Like, it's you got to experience shit sometimes. So when Ryan is like, Joey, I'm going to fucking Malta. It's going to be lit, man. You got to come down here. I'm telling Tina, I'm like, hey, can you watch the puppies for a couple of days? I'm trying to go over there because I ain't getting any younger, brother. We got to have some fun.
Dude, we're going 15K each and getting a private jet.
Yes, sir. No, I'm just saying 15K is a lot.
That's
no,
a
but
lot.
I'm just saying,
no, that's a lot.
I'm just saying, I like when I got the business flight for Korea, I was like, look, I've never experienced that. I'm going international. It's a super fun occasion. I want to be able to look back on it and have the full experience. And Russ is the one who kind of like sold it to me. But I forgot where he went. I think it was like I don't know where he went, but he got it and he's like, yeah, you get your own pod, like you get your little space and it's great. You have a charger there, you have internet. It's a fun thing.
I walked through it. I got ushered through real quick. I'm like, get this guy the fuck out of here. Get him back with the trash real quick. I actually was dawdling a little bit. Some guy gave me his chip bag because he thought I was going to take his trash away for him because I worked. Because you're a janitor. Are you a janitor, sir?
If you guys are watching this live, when he said that, I'm making a face like, bro, like what is happening? No, but seriously, like I don't know. It's like you got a nice suit, right? And you want to wear like this world's a special. I'm gonna wear that one. I'm gonna wear that special one. You know what I'm saying? It's just like one of those things. You pop open the bottle of wine that you've been saving for a special occasion, shit like that. That's all that it is, man. It's I don't know if Korea would ever want us back. It was an amazing experience. It was one of the, I think it beats Sweden 2019 was super fucking fun, but I think this beats that. I think for me it definitely beat it because the love that we got over there, it was like Russ ain't no villain. They love this man.
Well, that's Esther, man. Esther, I've had Esther on the podcast too. She's amazing. Homie, I love Esther. She loves you guys. So yeah.
Dude, she was so helpful. She was like my little helper meet day. She just did everything. She powdered the boys. She was taking videos for me. She was putting in attempts for me. Like just literally such a help. And she was awesome. And they were very hospitable there. And I'm just so thankful that I had the opportunity to do it. And I mean, we just kept saying thankful for the opportunity, thankful for the opportunity, thankful for the opportunity, because it's and for him at 21 to be experiencing these things is amazing, fucking incredible. It's crazy. Like look, people could think whatever they want to think, villain, whatever, blah, 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 this and that. At the end of the day, you have to respect what Russ has done for the sport. You have to respect what he's going to continue to do for the sport. We should be thankful that he's still here. He could have left a long time ago. He could just do things that isn't powerlifting and probably, I don't know, like powerlifting it's not bigger than bodybuilding in my opinion. I don't think it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I don't think it's close.
Now look at C-Bum. C-Bum, we think Russ is
he's
big.
The goat.
C-Bum's 4 million deep.
And he's like C-Bum has a personality and he's relatable.
It's Canadian.
He's Canadian. He's unbelievably nice, unrealistically nice, like Canadians. And he looks insane, and he's got the mustache, and he opens up to people, and he gets vulnerable, and he talks about this and that.
Dude, are you talking about me right now or C-Bum?
You're like, I got 4 mil.
Wait, I got lost in the sauce. Keep going.
No, like
I'm still on that jet.
He gets like 1 million likes every post, and that's he's obviously like the GOAT, and we'll for that, shout out to, see, that's the thing. Breon from my town, from LA, who me, Breon, and Brad in 2012, we're all personal trainers. Brad, I don't know. I know Brad used to train people, I think. But Brad was already on social media back then, and he embraced it from the beginning. I thought social media was stupid. Breon wanted to be Mr. Olympia. I went into powerlifting. Breon became Mr. Olympia.
You guys all knew each other?
Yes, and then Brad obviously did like the fitness thing and became what he is today. He's gone, and in my opinion, Brad's like kind of mainstream. He's like beyond just regular fitness. He does like everything. He does podcasts with like
he's on the Nelk
gamers.
Boards.
He does everything. So, not only that, H3, he had Hassanabi, I think his name is. I'm not sure. He's fucking massive, and you know, he's just transcended. And for me to get into my realm and do what I'm doing, Brian become Mr. Olympia, Grad to do his thing, it was just cool that we all kind of came from the same place. And Sebum was talking about how it wasn't just winning, it was about beating Brian. And I think people need to be thankful for Russ to have somebody to chase, because I'm thankful for Brett Gibbs. I'm thankful for Ray Williams. I'm thankful for who was it? All those
now you
years
got a
that
Mill. You could throw a Mill Norling in there. You could throw
you
in
feel
like new
Emil,
people
you
pop up.
feel. I'm thankful. I love Emil. Emil's great. Thankful for Emil. I'm thankful for Anatoly. I'm thankful for
Chance Mitchell now.
Chance Mitchell is keeping us, like, honestly, he is making it interesting, and you know, he's got that big deadlift, and it sucks when you don't go last, because you gotta just put it out of reach and fucking bite your nails and hope that they don't pull it, right?
Right.
Shout out to Arian for putting in that pull. Nah, he didn't get it. He didn't get it anyway. But it's you got to be thankful for the competition sometimes, because without them, like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like,
well, let me ask you this question.
I'm gonna be honest here. I never did this. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
If I'm handling someone, okay, and I, you know, whoever it is, and I look across and I see a Matt Gary, or I see an Arian, or I see fucking a Mike T or something, I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure, I gotta assume they're gonna do, I think, like, Arian's smart, so like I gotta just, like, okay, like, if Arian's smart, like, I'm pretty sure he's gonna do this. And again, it's powerlifting. It's not like, it's not super, you know, I can only do so much. Like, I can't,
right,
you know, the little deadlift games, that's not really gonna mess with them. All those little things, like, a good coach, I know that they're gonna like, a TSG with Taylor, and Ben Esgro's over there, I know that, like, all right, like, they're not gonna be, you know, they're probably not gonna be like fucked up by like dumb little games, right? They're gonna know, they're gonna do the right thing. And you know, at the end of the day, though, I could just look at the other lifter and see how strong they are, or use my best judgment, right? And that way you don't get caught up in all the mess. And it's just, and we need that. We need that type of stuff. We need people on the other side to keep us on our toes. And dude, I've gone against Matt Gary like so many times. I always go up to him after and be like, hey man, good shit. At Nationals, I had a 308. His guy was ahead of us. We missed a couple lifts and we pulled for the win and we locked it out, but they get 1-2 and we didn't get it. And afterwards I went up to Matt and I was like, hey man, like, that was amazing. Like, thank you for making that fun for me. Like, if he wasn't there and I just beat the guy, it's like, I don't feel alive in that moment. I don't feel, dude,
so it's just a handler.
You,
as a handler, it's like, oh, okay, a fellow chucker.
No, I like it. And it makes you feel alive, and it makes you feel, I think if you do something and you feel something, I'm telling you, man, when I loaded that weight up for Big Diesel, it was like, I don't even know what it was, like 7 billion, right? I don't know. It was a lot. We loaded the weight up and I was like, this is a huge jump. Like, we jumped like 40 keys, right? It's a Hail Mary. You know, I knew we got second no matter what. And I said, fuck it. He broke it off the ground and he stood up with it. This is my first meet with him, so I don't know his top strength. And I was just like, in that moment, me and my brother, we were handling him. We were going crazy. I was like, this is happening. Oh my goodness, we might actually win this. And he pulls it up and he locks it out and he's just kind of wobbling and they get the, you know, downward motion, whatever. And I was like, it sucks that we didn't get that. But goddamn, man, those 30 seconds of just, maybe we got it, and you're waiting for the light. It's just so fun. It's so insane, man. It's like, Ryan, I've heard you commentate, and you're like, even like Emil, like, pulling for the win, and you're like, oh my God, is he gonna get it?
Yeah,
and
can he do
like,
it? Because he keeps doing it. He keeps these
yeah,
miracle pulls.
Yeah, and it's just, honestly, at the end of the day, it's about, like, what am I, like, do I feel alive from this? Like, what do I feel from this? Like, is this exciting for me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie, man, there's not many opportunities in the year for powerlifting that really, you know, you don't get out of bed for too much these days when you're in old Joey Bones' seat. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's a
Joey
couple,
Bones.
old Joey Bones. You know, it's only a couple things. I mean, I'm sure Arian can relate. Like, there's times when, as a young coach, you'd be like really amped up for like just any old lifter like hitting their stuff, and now we're just kind of like feel nothing all of the time, except for like this is for the win at Nats or Worlds or whatever. And in that moment, and then if it doesn't go your way, like, hey man, we did everything we could do. I can only work with what I have, and you know the game and you know how it goes, and you try to win them all, but you can't win them all. So it's just. Oh, by the way, when we were talking about PA Nets, there's a lifter. Should give him a shout out. His name is his IG name is McDoublethick. He's a good 105,
He's a Junior Worlds, was he not?
Yeah. I wanted him to go up after missing his opener on depth because I didn't want him to just like take second, but he's strong, and I feel that he could probably hit whatever he needs to hit for Worlds, and that means that like Mikey would have to like go head up with them if we wanted to do that. And that's something that we need to think about, and we only have not much time to think about it.
Dude, McDouble Thick I've seen him. He's crushing right now.
I think he could be
crushing.
Good. Yeah. I think he could be good. And then if he ever went 110, he could be good there too. And that's another exciting lifter to think about. I actually think shout out to John Song. I think he started. I might be wrong. You could tell me. Is he working with Gavin? Do you guys know that?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I see him tag him, but I don't know if it's for like physical therapy or.
Yeah, I've worked with John for some back stuff, and John's really good for like injuries and things. I don't know. I just because I know Gavin's doing it, Chance is doing it, so that'll be like I'll watch that.
Dude, that's gonna be crazy. Even if Kaiko's only Sheffield, Gavin, Bryce Lewis, and did you see Bryce Lewis's 370? He pulled like he had Bryce Lewis as a 93 he's at his 105 world championship level strength, but he's a 93 now. So PA Nats in the 93s is gonna be freaking.
Yeah, but Bryce's pull is always very good. It doesn't matter what he weighs, his pull is always like pretty solid. I want to see.
There's also Greg Johnson, who's a big 93 105. He was a equip lifter. He has a 372.5 raw deadlift.
Conventional or sumo?
Sumo.
Doesn't count.
Where the big conventional boys at?
I mean, Bryce pulls sumo, Chance pulls sumo, Gavin pulls sumo.
The thing is, I don't know what Bryce is going to squat and bench being smaller, and those are the lifts that, like, his deadlift isn't going to go away, but I just don't know where his, I have no idea what Bryce's squat and bench are. And I mean, I think he'll probably bench more than Chance. Well, here's the thing. If he benches a little bit more than Chance, and Chance squats more than him, and they pull similar, that'll be really interesting.
Dog, I'm telling you. So I remember.
Are you going to that? Are you going to that?
I'm going to be there commentating. Yeah.
Oh fuck, man! Do I need to go to this fucking thing?
Are you going to be there?
Too much, man. I'm traveling too much. I don't know. Are my boys going to be doing it? We'll see. We got a couple days. So
it's
I don't know.
Amazing. Last year was amazing, Joey. I had such a good time, and I don't know. I mean,
I don't know how many years I could bring everybody over like that.
One more. Do a few more.
No, I think now we kind of showed people like, hey, like this is a thing. So now, like I feel like Nationals can hold its own, like without me bringing all the Flex boys over there. I think it's gonna be fine. I'm happy to see Mike T competing. It's cool. If Bryce is on the roster, that's dope. I didn't know that.
Gruden's there. There's a lot of big, like competitively.
Wait, Gruden's in there?
Gruden's there.
He just qualified at their bench nationals.
If you look at the roster, a lot of guys are sneaking in. There's going to be battles.
Ryan, hold up. Wait, Arian, you said he's qualifying for what with bench nationals?
At bench nationals this weekend, the day before they had like a qualifier meet for anyone who just wants to like qualify for bench nationals or for classic nationals. So he literally just did like 25 kilo squat, bench, deadlift, made weight to qualify for classic nationals.
Oh, so it's not like an actual. You didn't have to actually hit a total, like a
No,
good
because
total.
for nationals you just have to have a total. You just have to lift the bar or whatever. So he just
Wow, I didn't know that Gruden was going back.
Here's the
yeah.
thing: Gruden and Sean Jin going toe to toe is actually could be a good battle. Like there's battles at this PA Nats now. 93s is 93s
Alex-
battles.
He's young, but Alex Sidor signed up for the 83s as well.
He's a stitch young,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
Sean Jin will be in the 800s.
But just saying these names
Gruden
are
already
these,
is. Yeah,
these names are in.
Gruden-
59's Dalton
Gruden-
LeCoe's in. He's a
I think
world champ.
Gruden probably like 830, 840, maybe.
oh
I mean,
fuck.
yeah, I think
You
Gruden. I
think?
mean, well, because he did 820 something, I think, and then he pulled his third, and then they took it away from him, and that put him at like 8. I don't know. It was a good total, but Gruden is great. Like, he's really
He's great.
strong.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah.
Who else?
Dude,
Who else?
this PA Nats has got some
Yeah, it's
names,
gonna be
and
good.
there's still time. A lot of people sneak in at the last minute. They throw their hat in it. Let's see what happens.
There's this young 66 Brian Lee who has done like a local meet where he's like totaling the world record.
Dude, that Brian Lee kid pulls like 700 or
What-
so. It's
Wait,
crazy.
hold on, Arian. Let me. I'm gonna do some scouting. What's his name?
Brian Lee, LE, 1E.
I think is it Brian underscore Lee underscore? I see him. 710 kg at 66, 555 dots.
Yeah, there you go.
Put the dots in there. Gotta put the dots in there.
But
That's
check out his
USAPL
deadlift.
though. That's USAPL though.
But he just did a Powerlifting America meet to qualify, and he just he signed up.
Sneaky meat.
Sneaky.
Garrett Blevins is also qualified, but he hasn't signed up yet. So that could be another old school name.
Yeah, look at this Brian Lee kid pulled 320 kilos, 706 pounds, and he's a 66. This Brian Lee kid is a phenomenal lifter. Let's see what he does.
And then on the women's side, you got Jessica Espinal that switched over, Natalie Richards that switched over.
Jessica Espinal's an absolute murderer in the 47s. She might upset Heather.
Dude, it's gonna be
Claire Zai switched over.
Clara Zai is a murderer. It's stacked, my friend. It's gonna be. It's a killer.
I might just go sit and watch.
You might
In your
not-
private jet.
You might have to come and
No.
watch Playboy. And let's see. Maybe we.
Honestly, if I do the jet, it's got to be like Sheffield and Dubai, $1 million. Like, all right, fuck it, I'm taking out a loan. Like seriously, like what are we doing now? It's like 10K each record. Like my lifters will get at least one or two of those. Like, come on, we gotta go get this shit, boys.
They got about 10 more days to sign up, so we'll see what names come in last minute.
There'll be some though. There always is.
Maybe
A lot of
Mikey,
people-
maybe Kaiko, maybe Amanda, maybe Jesus. No reaction.
Amanda actually was like if a strong girl signs up, like she would come defend it. Like if a girl could actually like take the first spot from Amanda, I think she would come do it.
Dude, remember how much fun it was when we were at the restaurant and everything? Like PA Nats was a hell of a time. Like the hotel and everything. We had
I don't know,
a blast.
man. You sat like all the way on the fucking other side.
But that, well, I mean, they
Dude, I was on the other side. Chloe was teaching me about equip lifting, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, why the fuck don't we have World Games for Raw? Like, this is that's the next thing, my man. We need to get on that. Dude,
I
come
hear
on,
the rumors.
IPF,
Yes.
you need to go World Games, Sheffield, fucking everything. Just hit them with it, and then USAPL's got to be like, all right, shit, we got to come up with some good stuff, and then when there's two sides, everybody gets better. Competition gets better. You know,
World Games. I've heard rumors. I saw clips of World Games.
Holy
It is
fucking
fucking
shit.
insane.
Yes, when
What?
they walk out with their flag and there's all these people looking at them, it's like, dude,
It's legit.
What are we
Looks like the
doing?
Olympics.
and
it
I'm
looks
like
like
the only
Olympics.
one that knows it's happening, and I'm sending it to people in my chats, and they're like, what is that? And I'm like, it's where we should fucking be. Don't worry about it.
If they go raw, oh my God, what to talk about? You're talking about experiences. If they go raw, man, talk about an experience, dude. That opening ceremony.
That'll be like
was
world. That'll
fantastic.
be like worlds times 50. That'll be like
Oh yeah.
like 3 times 3.
They have athlete compounds like the Olympics, like actually athlete compounds.
It's just
And
the
you're meeting other
timeline too for like coaches and lifters. Like you have to wait 4 years to get your chance and go do this. So like a lifter's waiting around years, building themselves up for that moment to get in.
And then
Fucking
someone
hell,
else sneaks
man.
in.
Dude, imagine. Hey, wait, hold on. Before I go off, Ryan, just hit me with the questions. What do you got? Anything
Okay,
else? Anything else?
I want to ask you real quick, Playboy. Russ was on here and he said going into South Korea, he was uber motivated to beat Brendan Petrie's 90 kilo, and he texted you was like, we're changing the numbers. I gotta take this.
I'm gonna be honest. That was I don't remember him making specifically Peachy's total like the main focus weeks out. I
No, I think it was last minute. I think it was kind of, so maybe then,
it was last minute because in the meet I have like, you know how Spider-Man has like the guy at the desk? He has like the guy he's got like the guy in his earpiece at home looking at the computer screens, like giving him information. So my guy for that, his name is Grant. Big Grant. He's like 6'4" Viking. You'll see.
Yeah, I met him. He's a good guy.
I'm gonna bring him out to Sheffield, and he's like, okay, this is the total if you want this. This is the total if you want that. Also, shout out young Steven Singleton. He was in there with us as well. And he was like, yeah, if you want dots, it's this total. If you want total, it's this total. I said, I don't give a fuck about dots. Don't ever tell me that again. Get that shit on my face. And then I told Russ, I was just like, well, with Russ, I was like, you got to get in the meet. So we're going to think about all this like at the end. So I missed the opener, went up anyway because fuck it, hit that, jumped to 750, wanted to do 760. It's all good. He wanted to do a little more, but I said, hey, man, you got to give me, you know, if you don't hit your opener, like I can't be aggressive, right?
Fair.
So then we hit bench. Bench was really easy. We fucking had another 5 keys for sure. And then for deadlift, I was like thinking about it, and I was like, okay, the number is easy to call when you guys are on the same page and you know what you want. And I just said, okay, Russ needs to hit this. Let's see how 750 moves. I watch it, or maybe 744 second attempt. I see it. And I just said, like after the opener, I saw the speed and I was like, I think he's going to be in range. What is the path to get there? It's these numbers. That's it. Don't think about it. That's it. I don't do the whole, I mean, sometimes I do, but not all the time, where it's like, Arian, you know how you have lifters that like, they'll want to open a little heavy and then they could get 2 tries at the record they want or something, right? Like, I just like, nah, I'm just going to build it up, and then you do it on your third, and that's it. And he did it, and it was a fucking epic pull. And what do you guys think about it? You think it was a good lift?
I liked, look at, I'm a fucking Russ nut hugger though, but I get accused of that on the weekly, man. But no, I thought it was good, but I could see where it was like it's going to be on the fringe. It's going to be one of those calls in sports, like all like there's sports calls all the time. And
I think it was great. I think it was solid. I mean, I don't really. I think it was close, but I don't think it was. There's nothing that stood out to me that I was like, yeah, that was for sure downward motion, man. No,
that's what I would say. Like if someone wanted to say, I don't think I'd give it to him, I'd be like, fine, but let's both agree. I would say
why. Yeah.
Well, because I think what were they saying here? Well, let me just get this one point out though. I was going to say neither side is a hill to die on. It went towards them. I don't think it's controversial. I think like this is the type of call where like it's not like because you will see blatant bad calls. None of that. This was
a very clean. It was pretty close, and I don't.
Yeah, it's like a close decision in a fight where people want to think that was a robbery if it went for the other guy. No, that was a close fight. Could have went either way. That's like this happens in sports. So for me, when I saw it, I was like, dude, I didn't think much of it. But because it's UFC, Russ.
Yeah, go ahead. Because it's Russ.
Well, I was just gonna say because it's Russ, you know what's gonna happen. But go ahead.
I was gonna say in UFC, me and Tina have literally watched a fight, and we're like, oh yeah, this guy for sure won, and then the other guy wins, and I'm like, I don't know anything.
Like Patty Pimblett.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, what? Dude, Pimblett. I mean, Ryan, you guys could agree. He fights a Russian wrestler, he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's probably gonna get
He fights anyone with the last name Nurmagomedov. He's getting
That's right.
He's out of there. He's out of there.
Yeah.
So, or anybody like I was gonna say like Nurmagomedov last name Nigerian. Like he's just fucked. Like he's gonna get
he needs
destroyed.
careful matchmaking.
Well, it depends. Like he might become the villain too.
He already is.
He kind of is a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, like because a lot of fighters, like they get the ground level UFC guys are like, oh, like he's getting special treatment, whatever. So all those people are gonna hate him, and then you have the fans that are like, hey, this guy is from where I'm from, and he's fucking crazy. Like I love this kid. So
He's
you're
got
gonna have
personality. He knows how to fill. Look at before he came to UFC, he's filling stadiums of 20,000 people. You know how hard that is regionally without the UFC. Connor was doing that, and he's doing that. So when the UFC is going to pick you up when that happens for sure. So there's something there. There's some kind of charisma there to be able to do that. Very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, man. Keep it coming. What else you got for me? What else you got for me?
Doug, we touched up with a lot of
We covered a lot.
Now we're starting to get close to 3 hours. If we started 20 minutes past, we're past 10 over here. So we're getting close to 3 hours. And my man, you were like earlier today, you were like,
well, because I just pulled it up on the side. I pulled it up on the side.
And I was also like this. I was talking to Ari and be like, you know what? We could do 60. We don't got to go crazy every single time. Thinking so, dude, we're chatty Cathy's when we start talking. Joey, we get all excited. We start talking like we're talking, and all of a sudden, here we are.
I gotta get to my lifters overshoots now.
That's right.
No, it's all good. Yeah, hit me with anything. Anything you got, we'll close it up here.
What are you thinking about? What is Russ's future? Have you guys spoken about, like, I know Russ was saying he had unfinished business at 82.5. Obviously, finishing the year with what he did at 90. What intrigues you? Because you have Jamar at 82.5, you have Petrie at 90, both really good showdowns. But what gets you like excited to be like, fuck me, that'll be like you're gonna handle, and you're like, oh, this is like Brett Gibbs all over again. What gets you that?
I think what I would like is Russ do nationals this year, 82.5, finish that, and then we'll probably survey the field. If there's something appealing to us in the IPF, he might come back. Has to be a good carrot to chase, right? But I think if we were to move up to 90 and have a year to train, that's where we could see some crazy shit happen.
That's kind of what he's saying, is he felt some
a year to train would be absolutely insane. Bulk up to like 208, 207, cut down to about 203, 204, do a little water cut, really just hit heavy hitter. Telling you, man, in an alternate universe, I got Russ 93, I got Keiko 220, I got Mikey 110, we got this guy Big Devin at 275, we got Big Diesel 308, we got Jesus back at super heavyweight. We got young Austin Nikolai at 66. He's got a way to go to catch up to your boy that you just actually is he 66? He might be, I don't know. He might be 66, but he's really young. We got young Ken in the 60s, so we could have a full like head to toe.
Who's your young Swedish guy as well?
Oh yeah, Carl's really good. He's a 74. He's gonna actually go like they want him to compete. I guess Sweden was like, hey man, like if you do this open meet against Eddie, you guys can fight for worlds.
The junior world champion's yours?
Yeah, Carl.
I didn't know the junior world. Damn, he's good, man. He won junior worlds. He's good.
And he won Euros too.
Yeah. He's good, man.
He's really good. I think it was, I don't know if Euros. He didn't go against Eddie at Euros, I don't think. It was before. It was like a couple of days before him. Was there junior?
He was junior
Euros?
Still, probably. Yeah, he was junior. Yeah.
Also, Sam is going to fill out that weight class, so don't. Also, it's a little premature. I don't know if it's going to be me or one of the boys on Flexx, but there is a lifter. I'm just going to say, like, so vague. There's a lifter that won Euros. And she might be coming to Flexx. So that's all I can say for now. I just need it right now. It's super preliminary. Like, they got to do the paperwork. They got to pay. They got to do all that. But like verbal yeses are nice, but people say yes and then they, they don't
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
through. So, but it's exciting. I'm excited, man. Like, I think,
You're expanding into
I
Europe,
think
Europe quite a bit now.
I have a lot of foreigners, and I have a lot of foreigners, mostly me. Some of the boys that work for me do too, but it's mostly me. I like it, man. I think Arian did a good thing by going. Aaron, can we just pretty much say that, like, you probably coach lifters on both sides, but you're doing like PA stuff for now, like IPS stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and they made me resign in May to go to Worlds, and so since then I haven't done any USAPL
Yeah,
stuff. I don't
yeah.
have as many like high level USAPL people. Like, I had Matt, Gary, and other people help out my lifters at nationals. A couple people I had. I might have no one for the Arnold this year, even. So like, I won't have to worry about that.
I just have. Are you like? Do you regret your decision?
No, because I mean, as of now, I got to go to Worlds, and I got to go to North Americans, and then we'll see this year trying to go to Worlds and North Americans again, and I can go back whenever because USAPL doesn't care. So if like I get
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
high level USAPL lifters, wherever, I can just go back and go back and do
Tw-
nationals
20,
and Arnold stuff.
24-0, by the way. I think if the Bucks come back now, it would be the Falcons Super Bowl comeback. I think it would be one of the most insane Tom Brady things ever. But anyway, yeah, I mean,
So you in Europe,
Arnold,
you're expanding in Europe because you're getting some big names in Europe, man.
I like it. I like it. I think that it's foolish for people to, like, America needs to understand, like, it's not just USA, man. There's other great lifters out there. Um, And I'm just a supporter of good ideas. If one Fed has a good idea, I'll support that. If another Fed has a good idea, I'll support that. I'm not going to be like, it has to be this way or it has to be that way. I don't like choosing sides. I don't like doing stuff like that. It's just, um, what are we here for, right? Like, we're trying to grow the sport and compete at the highest level, and that's what I care about. If both sides have merits, and I will be a part of them if I can. So that's it.
I was gonna say, well, USAPL is getting these like countries on board too, so technically you could like have international clients that are USAPL as well. But the other good thing too, I think, is like the diversity. So if there is something like, a recession or COVID or whatever like that, it's not like you're losing 95% of your clients because they're all in the US. You got clients in other countries that might still doing well and they can stay with you.
I totally agree. That's a good point. Some countries, like, they didn't lock down, or well, very few. And Texas was chilling. Texas, Russ was in the gym training, so they didn't even do math there. So it is what it is. But
So
yeah,
for that one question, so you would not in terms of what he's going to do, but in terms of like you were around for the Brett Gibbs showdowns, like all the Brett Gibbs showdowns, and
if there
you
was another juggernaut that came out of nowhere that was like a 90 or an 80 or something, I think Russ would find interest in that. But
or
he's got to
yourself,
have.
is it Jamar Petrie that you think, fuck me, that's one that you'll be like, whoa, I am gonna have to be on my A
I
game.
don't know, man. I feel like, I mean, I respect the competitors, right? Like, Russ could feel as the lifter. I
That
want
yeah,
him to
that's
be as I want him to be as confident as possible. I want him to think he's fucking ready to go and feel that he's ready to go and just like like hate your opposition. Do whatever you need to do. I need him to feel the best way, put himself in the mind state that's going to allow him to be the best killer on the platform, right?
Mhm.
Me as a coach, um, it will be foolish for me to not respect the capabilities of my competitor, and I have to assume that they're going to be at their very best every time, um, which is going to in turn make sure my guy is at his best every time. So, it's how do I say, it's like, you don't want to get complacent. Russ could
is
be complacent if you want. He's done everything there is to do. What the fuck else does he have to do? He doesn't have to do shit. But he's not. He still works like he hasn't, like, he's got that chip on his shoulder, and he still works like, I haven't done shit and I need to prove something. You know what I'm saying? Which he doesn't, though. That's the crazy thing. And that's why he's dangerous, is because he doesn't have to do this and he's still doing it. He's not like, I mean, I could bring up McGregor, like McGregor, how many times did he defend the belt?
Like never.
Yeah, he just
Right.
moves up, keeps moving
So-
up, looking for challenges. Yeah.
Well, he wins it. He gets all the money, and then he gets like, it's not the same as like, I fucking need to win this, or I don't eat. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But Russ still works like that, and that's why he's dangerous, and that's why he's one of those guys that like. And here's the thing, man. I'm gonna be honest, and this is not like, if this offends people, like it shouldn't, because it is what it is. An American lifter that doesn't have like a giant following, I know it's like a dumb thing to say, is not as exciting to me as a European lifter or an Asian lifter or somebody from another country that may have a similar following but is bringing a completely different audience that doesn't even know us, that is giving us more exposure, that I respect as a coach looking at an athlete. Like I said, I respect all athletes, but it, like Gibbs, I mean, that's different. You know what I'm saying?
Is
And
it
I think
because you mean taking him on as a client or just
no,
facing off?
no,
You mean
facing
face
off, facing off.
showdowns? Gotcha.
Yeah, facing off. No, I'll fucking work with anyone. I fucking, I had a girl write me like the most heart fucking warming story ever. And like she was talking about shit from 2018, 2017 that we did. And how her family, someone in her family was sick, and she was really down, but she remembered something I said in a video, and it got her through that moment. And I was like, I'm fucking taking this girl.
Well,
I'm
you
fucking taking
have
this
to.
girl.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I have to. So when they tell me stuff like that, I mean, shit, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna say no to this girl. So, I think about the matchups that move the sport forward, right? What moves the sport forward? I think Russ adding to his legacy can move the sport forward. I don't necessarily know if Russ, Russ adding to his legacy moves the sport forward, but Russ totaling like 850 and everybody else totaling 830. Again, that is I like that. I like that he's adding to his legacy, but it's different when a juggernaut comes out of nowhere who's bringing like a Gibbs, man. Like Gibbs was the fucking shit. And he's coming over here with this huge following and his fans, and I felt the heat. And it was good, and it was exciting, and it was exhilarating, and I felt like I was in enemy territory. That's different. Now, I do think it will be interesting to see, of all the 82.5s, which one of them is going to keep me on my toes. Russell's going to do his thing, but I'm the one that has to call the number, right? I don't know who it's going to be. Petrie's in a weight class up, and I can't really deal with him or talk about him until like we do that. Like we have to go there, we have to do it for a year. I have to start really looking at things and kind of see how it is. I don't like the idea of Keiko and Russ running into each other, but I've already dealt with that situation 1,000 times, and I already know how to do it. It's just
sucks. Someone's gonna lose, man.
It's just, I mean, remember with the girls at Worlds? I mean, fucking one of them's gonna hate me no matter what. So it's just, it is what it is.
In 82.5, I mean, you have Jamar who nudged past Brett's total. So Jamar does make things interesting. And he's got time to add more kilos on there. J1's coming over he had one meet at USAPL, but wasn't like his, I forget what he was doing, but he did something where I think for deadlift, he pulled conventional instead of sumo, or something was, I forget what the story is now, but it wasn't, we didn't get to see it. So there's a question mark on him under USAPL standards. And there's
still, I guess,
but he's a threat.
Gruden. It's still not Gruden. It's still like
Gruden's.
I tend to just deal with these things when they appear in front of me. If they're there on the platform, then we'll do it. The reason why is because a lot of time I give people like there's so many times when we've gone against competitors and I'm like, all right, they're going to be on point. They're going to hit this. It's going to come down to the end. And they fucking miss a squat. And this is like, what the fuck, like I got all riled up for nothing. But it is different. Also, you have to take locals and things with a grain of salt. You have the nationals is a different game. Going head up with the actual competitor when they're in your face is different. And that's fun. And I think at the end of the day, people can say whatever they want to say on the internet. But at some degree, these young men, they have to respect each other in some degree, unless you're disrespectful, obviously, right? But I don't know. I think I'll just say this. I think it's good that the 82.5 class is developing. But I think Russ just kind of reminded everybody, like, when I'm healthy, I'm Russell.
I told him, even though it was a weight class up, it's difficult
He's
to.
not gonna lose. He's not gonna lose like 1,000,000 pounds off of his squat, and his bench is not gonna really do anything. His deadlift will stay the same. So
this is what I was saying is like if you like, he showed his top end. It's hard for me to picture any of the other individuals, even if they don't cut, them doing that on their top end in the gym or anything, in the gym or otherwise, let alone in official competition across the world.
That's the thing. I think he has another 5 on squat, and I think he has another 5 to 7 on bench. That's
like his top end compared to 82s. I can't picture another 82. You just take him to the other side of the world and you're like, you don't have to cut.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. We didn't sleep. Our fucking food was fucked up. Everything was fucked. Wheeze was fucked because he has to eat a lot, and we just didn't have access to certain food. I couldn't get a bowl of chicken and rice. It was like everything was fried. It was like so hard to do certain things. I went to this giant mall. I walked like 20,000
you look like
steps.
you're trimming down. You look good right now, Playboy.
I'm probably gonna. I think I'm gonna do
bodybuilding.
No. I think I'm gonna do 2,000 calories for like a couple weeks, get some pounds off, and then see where I'm at. I don't know. I got Sheffield. I might bring a collar shirt. I don't know. I don't know, my man. I might bring a collar shirt. I might be looking snazzy like you, my man. We might be I might be just zero everything. So I might borrow your razor or something. But
okay.
The thing is, like, there was nothing like so optimal about like any of the pre-meet stuff for us, and we just fucking like did what we could. And Wheeze was losing pounds like every day. Like, we were shopping, walking around, and then after that day we went shopping, I was like, my feet fucking hurt. You guys would be good to lift? And they're like, yeah, man, let me just sleep. Russ does a good job getting us sleep though. And I don't know, it was I would love to do an easy 900 plus 905, 907 maybe as
with Russ.
Dude, like at 90, there's no doubt in my mind he could do 907. No doubt. After a year of training, come on. We haven't even. And see, Russ has the bodybuilding secrets. So he can gain the weight, cut the weight, keep all the muscle, and then gain the weight again and cut the weight. He could do that. Like, that's the secret.
He was telling me,
hey, cut that out.
He was telling me he didn't like how he looked. I seen pictures, like we all seen the pictures of him in Tokyo, and I'm like, or sorry, no, this is not Tokyo, but forget. So, well, he was in Tokyo, wasn't he? Yeah, he was there too, though. But anyways, in Asia, and he looked diced. I'm like, Russ, if that's you, Fluffy, holy shit,
I'm
dude.
fucked.
Yeah, we're all fucked. You looked jacked. But I mean,
yeah, dude, honestly, I saw him with the shirt off, and I'm like, there's no way this guy doesn't bench like a lot today. Like, he looks so jacked. He looks so jacked. So it's I think, like I said, I just keep thinking about, like, I don't know. It bothers me as a someone who knows when, like, in life there's like when people should not. I don't like it when they're disrespectful towards Russ, because I know what he's done for the sport, and they're not realizing what he's done for the sport. So that kind of stuff bothers me. And
or do they want to draw attention because he's the big name and they want to be
yeah,
the
well,
anti, if you're
yes.
here, I have to be the anti-you because they're carving niches for
Well,
themselves.
they're trying to put themselves next to him, and that's a very like old thing to do. And I don't think it's a very good business model. And I think that you can do a lot more good being good. If Arian's lifters win, people are going to inquire for Arian. If Joey's lifters win, people are going to inquire for Joey. If Joey's lifters improve, maybe they don't get first. They're gonna, it's like do that. When you talk, you look really dumb if you lose. Like really, really dumb. Like it's not good. Like it's very detrimental. So it's just one of those things that like, I don't know, man. It's like you don't have to like LeBron James, but you have to respect what he's done for the sport of basketball. It's that simple. I don't know. That's just me. That's
Do
just
you
me.
feel this is more prevalent now that the sport has grown? There's more people involved. There's more super camps. We have camps. We always had camps, but there's more camps.
It's funny because a lot of those camps said that we inspired them to start their own camp, and now they try to be like adversarial. So it's just very funny to see
well,
that.
because
And they also say how Russ was the reason they got into lifting, or Russ was their favorite lifter, whatever, back in the day. But then now that they get a little strength under their belt, or they got a team now that they think they can start talking crazy, and it's just like I said, like Russ makes the sport way better being here. He will do what needs to be done to remain in the position that he's in. And another thing that people got to understand: every single time that we compete, we bet 5 world championships, and we bet all of that. All right, I'll tell you what DC said about Usman, okay, and everybody else. He said, I think he was talking about Khabib also. It might have been Usman, I don't know, but DC said, and in his own experience, getting to the top, it was not as hard as staying at the top. When you're at the top, everybody's coming for you. And I get to hear it not only for us, I get to hear it for everybody else that's doing good. I got to hear it for Keiko. I got to hear it for Jesus. I got to hear it for Amanda. I got to hear it for Danny. I got to hear it for, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's just, it gets old. It's repetitive. It's the same type of stuff all the time. There's not really any new surprises. It's just great. New name, new person that's talking shit. Let's deal with them like we've always done. It's just like it's just gonna be what the fuck? Like how many times are we gonna do this shit? I wish it was like UFC where like you beat someone and you go to the back now. You got to go get some fights.
Sometimes
Don't
they
get the
bring them back.
rematch.
Sometimes they bring them back quick, like a Masvidal or whatever. But I know what you mean.
Well, that's because like it was, there's got to be
Leon versus Usman.
Well, that was like, are you guys crazy? Ready for that? That's gonna be crazy.
But there is. I know what you mean in terms of it's just sports. It'll always be right. It'll always be this meat grinder of like everyone wants that one spot. And if you have that spot, they're gunning for you. And it is what it is. 10 years from now, you could pass that guy in the street and look back and be like, fuck it. No hard feelings. Yeah, no hard feelings.
But is it that though? I don't know. I hope not. I mean, at the end of the day, like I played fucking football, man. I played basketball, played football. I did martial arts my whole life.
So do you hold grudges against some of the guys that you were battling
Absolutely
back then?
fucking not. Absolutely not. Except for like this one team, Santa Monica, we always fought them like after
Fuck them,
we literally
though.
got in. Fuck them. Yeah, fuck those
guys.
Now, my brother actually played for Santa Monica, but
well, that's awkward.
Yeah, no, it's all good. But no, hell no, dude. There's games. I remember when we went against this one team, and I mean, I'm an undersized like linebacker, but I was strong, and I used to help out like a lot of pretty much any of the front four. I would do whatever. Well, not the interior linemen, but there are times when I would go against teams where I might fucking hit somebody with everything I got, and that guy will barely move because he's like 360 pounds and he saw me coming, right? And I'll just say, I'm going to keep hitting him. I'm going to keep hitting him. I'm going to keep hitting him. And at the end of the game, either he's going to match that and he's going to respect me at the end of the game, or I'm going to break him. And there's guys that I've become friends with, like, bro, like, you're the greatest fucking, tackle, fullback, whatever position that I've ever had to deal with, or we had this one guy who had a full ride to Arizona State. We went against him, and the first time they played us, they beat us like pretty bad. And when we rematched them in the playoffs, we beat them by 3 points. And I told that guy, you know, I know it sucks right now that you lost and everything, but like you're going on to the next level, and we got to fight for that still. You know what I mean? And I respect the hell out of that dude, and he made us all better. And the amount of that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think you can hate your opposition if they give you a run. I think that Russ, if any of those guys, if we go all out, 100%, and they are 1 kilo from us, I feel like Russ would I feel like Russ might like be like, hey man, good shit. I feel like he might do that. You know what I mean? I don't think he'd be like, nah, hell no. You know what I'm saying? It's just, but who's gonna do that? Who's gonna be the one to do that? And I think that's what people want to see. I think now people are just watching to see like who's gonna be the guy. You know,
sure.
They want to see Russ fail. They want to see something change. They want to see the throne fall, whatever.
It's the Mike
And I
Tyson
get it.
syndrome.
Yeah, but I don't like the disrespect though. I don't like that. And it's
put it this way. I
it's-
think when I view things, and I've been pulled into shit as well, in like this is what happens, man. But nothing that I've seen like in 10 years, I don't think I'll cross paths with anybody and not be like, I don't give a fuck anymore. There are things in life that for real people in your actual day-to-day life that'll impact you for really real. You see that dude in 10 years, it's different. But most of this sporting stuff or social media beefs or whatever that can happen in 10 years time, when like life is entirely different all over again. Like 10 years ago was 2012. 10 years later will be 2032. Life will be so different. You'll be a different place. You'll cross the street. He'll see you. You'll see him. You're both in different places, and you'll both probably said things, done things you might kind of half regret and be like, man, I don't give a fuck about that anymore. And
dude,
you'll both be past it. Most of us are like that.
There's a guy from my past who like I was actually very close with him, and like something happened with me between me, him, and a girl. Nothing, I didn't do anything wrong. It was just him kind of being out of pocket, kind of blew up in his face. And then I saw him like years later, and he never got over it. He just couldn't look me in the eye. So stuff like that, like I'll just say this. If you value someone, right, I think it will be good when it's all said and done to let that person know, like at least once, even if it's just along the lines of, hey man, I respect what you've done for the sport. I respect you as a competitor, as a whatever you are. But when they say bar is loaded, I fucking hate you for the next 9 lifts. And then after that, pick it up, you know, do whatever.
Sort of leading up to the bars loaded though is where the hype factor comes in.
Yeah,
and
well, that's like McGregor talking shit about Khabib, and then when Khabib's beating his ass, he's like, "Hey man, it was just for sell the fight." You know, like Colby Covington going to Usman after and be like, "It was just to sell the fight, real quick."
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, I get it. I get it, man. I can see. I'm not like these normal people in the comments. I understand what it is, and I do this thing where like when people get crazy, I think. Does their mom know that they speak this way? Do they even believe that? If I talk to their mom right now, is their mom going to tell me? Because your mom's going to know you better than anyone. You know what I mean? Your friend, your best friends are going to know you better than anyone. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't believe that this person, you know, truly is this crazy or believes the things that they're saying. But at the end of the day, I believe that my athlete, my lifter, needs to have a mindset that allows him to be successful. And if that's to hate the people that are disrespectful to him, and then that's what it needs to be, until we're done, until we're all said and done. I've been doing this 10 years, Ryan.
10 years.
10 years. To 2013 was my first meet in USPA. I didn't even think USAPL was USAPL back then. Arian, was it? You might know.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Was it USA Powerlifting or was it?
Yeah, they changed their name in '97.
Okay, yeah. So I didn't even know about it.
It's just that you're in California, right, where Steve Dennison is, so USPA is much bigger.
Yeah. So shout out to Steve. He's actually great. Really good, actually. Super great guy. USPA is fine. My interaction with USPA lifters, when they actually interact with me, has been pretty good. What was I gonna say?
Would you
Fuck
ever
was I
start
saying?
taking some untested lifters?
I only work with like one, and he's like not on social media, and I've been working with him for like 7 years,
Oh
and
wow.
I don't. I mean, I don't think I'd be the best option. I'd be like, dude, like, I don't know anything about that. How can I? Somebody that knows about that will probably help you better than me. I don't know anything about that, so
Yeah.
it's a tough thing. Unless they're like TRT cruising, like same thing all the time, like maybe. But I have just felt in the past when I have helped people like that, like coach people like that, I just feel very powerless. And it's almost like it doesn't matter what I give them. It matters if they're on shit or not.
I
That's
mean,
how it
that's
feels.
being
That's how it
honest.
feels.
That's being
If
honest. You
I
could-
run into, I don't know if Larry's still out here, but if I run into Larry, I actually will talk to him about that. Because I know he's changing he's just doing like easy stuff now. But if I like, I'm actually very curious about that.
dude, if you
Because
start
it just feels like, hey man, if they're going crazy on shit, like it doesn't matter what their training is. Like,
Dude,
their
if you
training
start-
could be so minimal.
dude, if you start coaching Larry Wheels,
Holy shit, brother. I don't know. I don't know if he would want that.
but
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I think everything changes though. Like all the training changes. Like what they're used to in what they'll have to end up doing as a natty, I'm sure is completely. I don't know if you run gear and then do the, some of the shit that the natty boys are doing, like, and vice versa. It's all like intensity wise, volume wise.
Theoretically, like TRT shouldn't be too different than what a natty would do. But I mean, I don't know. I would hit up
TRT
like,
maybe. I bet you those levels aren't actually the levels that TRT is supposed to be though. I bet you it's a little
it's
generous.
it's a little bit over.
It's generous. Let's say generous.
What the
Let's
fuck
use
was I
that
gonna
word.
say?
Generous.
Damn it. I don't. Oh, okay. I'll finish my point, and then we should probably call it because it's been like 20 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, we're past 3 hours. Oh, wait, we're going towards 4 now, Playboy.
I'm hungry, Ryan.
My bad.
No, it's good.
If Russ needs to get into the villain mindset, I can feed off of that, and it can help me just have that little. I mean, I'm always gonna work like I have the chip on the shoulder. But I think at the end of the day, he can be a killer on meet day, but I have to be the one. I have to like be rational. I have to be calculated. I have to call the right numbers. I can't let anything that's happening on outside in the world affect when I sit down and I think about, here's his meet. This is the program we're doing. Okay, we're 8 months out. What is my plan for the 8 months? How are we going to build up to that? What do I want him doing in the off season? What should we be working on? What do I want his body weight? What do I want his diet? I need to focus on these things. And that's why the internet bullshit, dude, like shit happens and like my brother tells me I don't even know what's going on. I can't get in it.
It's the best way to go, man. Post and goes.
Yes, like Joe Rogan, just post it and
That's
I
right.
fucking read
That's
it.
what I got it from.
I
Sometimes
was
I
hanging
post.
out. Go ahead.
Sometimes I post that one girl that you're working with. Sorry, what's her? Crennan?
Yeah, we just started, by the way. Announcement. We just started. I actually saw her. I actually was at Zoo today. She came in and we did a bench together.
So I was just saying, like, when I do a post, I very rarely will look into the comments to check out. Sometimes I will, but I try to post and ghost and not get fucking too pulled into some shit. But sometimes
sometimes it's too much to where like you got to go back and regulate.
That's 100, or just like whatever. I don't want to post.
Well,
put somebody out there.
The women are the key to the future, I feel, and people like Russ and people like that. Like we need the compelling women that are deadlifting 500 pounds to shake it up.
100.
Like to fuck
Dude, she
up
could be the next
norm.
Jessica Bittner. Jessica didn't start with a 500-pound deadlift in their first year.
I remember little baby Jessica from 2016,
Yeah.
tiny, incy wincy little junior girl, this big.
Wow, she was a 72.
She was a little, yes, she was very lean. She was,
but compared to the Jessica now, who wears a t-shirt
tank.
and will mog the shit out of you with a t-shirt. Like,
Yes.
yeah, I know what you mean. I know your point.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's just funny seeing how like, when you got the imposing muscles, it's funny how like the comments are like already regulated. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to get fucked up.
Yeah, pop that shit that Jessica bit in his face, Playboy. You know what I mean? It's everybody's very
Yeah,
polite.
nah, she's good, dude. Honestly, like she's got a good sense of humor because the internet is a tough place for a girl to be sometimes, and she goes with it, and she's great. So I'm excited for the future. I would just say instead of talking to somebody who's already very accomplished and achieved things that are very special, um, maybe do those things yourself or get within the conversation, within the range, and then, you can earn it. It's like in the early days, I remember Mikey was coming up, Mikey Davis, and there was a lifter who I don't want to say the name, but would say like he was coming for him or was coming at him or da 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 da. And it's like, you have not done this, you have not done that, you have not done that. Mikey was already an equipped champion. He already won junior worlds. He's already traveled with me across the world and done what he needs to do. And he's a very like it's different when you compete locally versus when you go to their house and you
Yeah.
show those judges from other countries that don't even speak your fucking language what's up. And I will always have respect for people that do that. And that's really all it is, man. It's it doesn't have to be. I don't know. I could say whatever I want to say. I suppose people will do whatever it is that they want to do, but just remember that Russ is really popular, and Russ has a lot of pull, and it will be unfortunate if you burn some bridges because you wanted to talk crazy and how, although it might seem at certain moments that, oh, the community is rallying behind me because I'm hating on Russ, that community is actually a lot smaller than you think. And you're limiting yourself to a very small pool. I try to change lives, Ryan. I try to. And I think I've done that. You've seen it over the years, taking people and saying, hey, you know what? You could do this, but like if we do that, these are the things that you could have. These are the sponsors you could earn. These are the countries you could see at this age. These are the connections you can build. And that's all I try to do. And everything that we do, Russ included, is for the benefit of the sport as a whole. Like it's going to benefit the sport as a whole. So I just feel like people need to put a little more respect on his name. Okay. And we will continue to show up. We will continue to bring that excellence to the platform and push things forward like we have over the years consistently. And, at the end of the day, like I said, if a competitor gets right within, if you get really close, I'm going to go, I would go up to you and say, hey man, like good shit. Like you made this fun. You know what I'm saying? It'd also be fun to beat with Russ. He'll make it fun to smoke everyone by 40 keys. Okay, not everybody's like that. But when it's a group of guys, and then it's one guy at the top, it's kind of fun. But when it's no one, like within miles, like Amanda, just Amanda. You know what I'm saying? It's like
No one in the world could press her.
like we're competing against ourselves, and
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe one of those girls, Agatha, Jessica. Oh man, if Jessica moved up, it would be fun as hell. Like
Or Carlina.
I mean, Jess said
Carlina.
she wanted to, right, initially?
Oh yeah, Jess said she's been thinking about it in her
Yeah,
DMs.
and I've told her like I don't want you to deal like it's not going to be drama from me. It's going to be like I love it. Let's do it. Like that's great for us. That'd be great for the. That'll make that class. I think no matter where Jessica lives, people are gonna care. But I think it'll just make the 84s more exciting. But right now, her class is already super fucking exciting. So,
But she's been hinting at this is near the end of her being a 76. Jess is an 84.
but
Can you imagine Jess is an 84?
I don't know if she would want to like. I know she likes the abs though.
Yeah, but she also.
I don't know. I don't know if she would like be okay with the fluff.
I don't know how big she'll get into. She doesn't have to go full 84 though, but she'll just go in the 484
Like
class.
82, maybe? Like maybe 82 or something.
Maybe.
80.
Just
Maybe.
make Ryan look as small as possible.
Well, this is what I'm saying is I don't need that smoke. So let's just all settle down. I'll settle down.
All right, boys. Well, anyway, I thought it was a good one.
Dog,
thank you
we're
so
like-
much for having me on. 3 fucking hours.
We're past 3 hours, Playboy. I appreciate it. Listen, I'm gonna hit your DMs. I want you to tell me what some of these
What's up?
innuendos you're saying earlier about like hinting at things and shit.
I
got
know
so many
nothing.
questions. I got so
I
many.
know nothing.
SPD's
know
gonna
nothing.
fucking stab me.
But let's close it off right now. All right, Six Pack Lapadat, and thank you for tuning in. Whatever platform you're listening on, please do subscribe. Please give us high ratings as per usual. And 6 Up, we are out.